Hello, everybody.
Oh, I just had a text message from my friend Jay that just says red Doritos are top. And he's not wrong, is he? That is some high level shit right there. That's what I'm going to buy.
Can
That's
I definitely not
odd.
hear you?
Hello, Phil Wall. Hello, Garrison Savannah. It's the all crew back again. Hello, Cutie. Hello, with now on Pie. Thanks for the sub, Chod. Thanks for the sub, Garrison
Hello,
Savannah.
everybody.
22 months, 21 months. If you can't hear Sean, don't worry about it. He's got nothing interesting
No.
to
I
say.
mean, no. I've just checked. No, they can't.
No need to call them that.
Oh, they absolute can't.
Grey Dragon Claw with the sub. Thank you so much. Look at this. If you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, you've also got Prime Gaming, and you can. We'd love it if you gave it to us.
We actually massively would. It would be so good. And thank you for those of you who are the fake genius. Thank you for supporting us with Prime.
Cheers, everyone.
How's everyone's Monday?
Now, how's my Monday been? Shit.
I think he was asking them, not us.
No,
Well,
no,
I'm too late. I'm answering it.
Everyone.
We had the Pest Patrol people over.
Oh, yeah,
right. What's the latest on Ratgate?
Just put in. They're not rats. It's mice. Just because we live in London.
Always said there's one every like 2 foot.
I learnt this. If they're brown mice, that's good for the. It's good for the flat. It's good for the. It's good news if they're brown mice because it means they do not nest within the building. They come in and out.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So they've just put mesh everywhere basically.
I thought you just
get a cat.
Like,
I don't want a cat though,
guys.
I do not want a cat. I'm sorry. I like cats, right? I'm not having a cat.
I'm having issues. Right, so yeah, it's the wrong microphone. It's using my webcam microphone. Is that everyone enjoying that? Does that sound really good?
Oh, that's what you want.
A cat is 100% the answer. Look, I've got nothing against cats. I'm not one of these people that's like, I hate cats. I just, no thanks. I would much rather have a dog.
Did I tell you about the people where we live who take their cat for a walk every day?
That's common, isn't it?
I don't think it is.
That's
I don't know if it's
wild.
common, but you know, if you love your cat, take him out. Why not?
I've never seen anyone do that in my life, apart from when I moved here.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but also like the amount of people I know whose cats have been run over or whatever. So,
yeah, is that what you want, James? Is that what you want?
We live next to a field, so I don't think
James is like, I hate people walking the cats because I definitely can't run them over then.
Yeah,
if they do that.
I wish they were loose.
You're one of these people that's like 10 points.
Really a factor, but,
10 points. Right, okay, should we just record a podcast because we're already late?
Should we just hit record now? This can be the bonus show.
For those of you that are watching this bit, we've just been sorting out the schedule for the show for the next month and a half.
It's dense.
We know when we're recording the bonus show now.
Yeah.
Matt's having a meltdown because there doesn't have the right amount of time between, you know how it's my words. It's a fucking nightmare.
It's just a complete mystery, isn't it?
Yeah, even to me.
Right, okay.
Are
we ready to do a podcast?
No, is the answer. Yeah. Not actually. I've been having too much fun.
Scheduling.
I forgot about the business.
We bought two harnesses for our rabbits to have a little walk around the garden.
Really?
Yeah. They can have a little walk and wander around.
Rabbits are a nightmare, man.
Okay, that's weird, James. Can you imagine that?
It's not that weird because rabbits will eat so many things that are like deadly.
Looking down the road like that.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I would not take them in the street. That'd be ridiculous. We haven't really got anything. Like if we let them loose in the garden, they'll be gone. You know, it'd be James Hardy's down the road running them over.
Could you put them on your skateboard with you and skate around with them?
No one's gone to my skateboard since Elodie cut her leg really badly that time.
Fair enough.
Still got that scar, but you know.
Guys, can I just do something with the chat for a second?
Uh-oh.
Chat, if you could all just look at James Farley right now. Just look at James Farley. Farley, I want you to look at me in the window, yeah, in your thing. Just look at me. You ready? Look at his little face. Look at his little face. That's all you need to do. I love making him happy. It's my favourite pastime.
I used that on Friday night when I was playing with Spectrum Cinema and stuff, because we were supposed to play Halo. We were going to play Halo, right? And they were like, "Oh, we've got it installed." Yeah, we've got it installed. Of course, Spectre hadn't got it installed. And I was just like playing. I was going, "For fuck's sake!"
I tweeted it to Millwall on Saturday because we went 2-0 up, and before half time they pulled it back 2-2. And when they announced the second goal and got in the equaliser goal, I just replied, "Fuck's sake!" Right, okay, let's do a podcast, shall we, about video games, because I'm excited to do one this week.
Lots to talk about tonight.
There is lots to talk about. It's the God of War special.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait.
Nat.
Right, Dave.
Was the intro plan? Oh, we got to record. Right, everyone hit record. Yeah. So I forgot.
Wow.
Everyone hit record.
Absolutely lost it.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Matt.
Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with James Farley.
Hello.
Matt Murray.
Hello.
And Sean Bell.
Hello, sorry.
We'd like to start the show, as we always start the show, and by thanking our Patreon producers this month. They are, oh my gosh, he's added to his name this month. It's Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap. Why not join us as Full Nels? I like that. I like that little addition to the name. Simon Nelson, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights and Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Fred Fenge, Smooth Monkey, Don Whiskerando, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, Tom S, and John Tempelli. What a crew they are. They are the Full Nels crew, and thank you so much for supporting us. Genuinely, thank you so much for supporting us. It keeps us going, keeps us ticking by, and it means that Joe doesn't shout at me when I'm heading off to the bedroom to record one of these pieces of shit again. Please go to patreon.com/TCGS and support us. Different tiers, bonus shows, GTA heists. You get the thingy the week early, didn't you? You get the Marvel calls, eh? You get the Marvel calls. You can listen to Thor Ragnarok now, and then on Friday, Black Panther. You can listen to that episode too. My word, I'd get it if I wasn't producing it all.
I reckon it's fantastic value for money, David. I think if we should add up how many hours of content you would get if you signed up today, because I reckon it's loads.
Isn't it? The amount of bonus shows you got to listen to, it's crazy. But I will say this, right, and we don't say this enough. Look, if you can't support us, if you can't support us on Patreon, there are various different ways that you can support us. The main one being, tell people about us. You know, we haven't got a marketing budget. We're not on a big website like IGN or GameSpot or any of those.
We could apportion some of our money towards marketing if we chose to.
Yeah, but what did that get us? Have you seen that? It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Yep.
I was, I've looked into certain things, and I'm like, well, that's taking the piss. Mm-hmm. About 7 people are going to see that.
Have we thought about getting Twitter verified at this stage?
I thought about it. No,
near $8 a month. It's bargain.
Matt, how close have you been to buy?
Nah. I mean, but it's annoying because I wanted it for so long, and then am I going to get it now and be really embarrassing? So no. I thought about I thought about creating other accounts and making them verified, but then
what?
Just so we wouldn't know.
You thought you did what?
Just to see what it would feel like without anyone laughing at you.
You want to create an account and verify it?
Yeah.
No, we had conversations about this.
Yeah, start putting tweets out.
Start putting tweets out. Your mind is something else. But yeah, tell people about us. You know, tell your friends. Tell people that you speak to on the internet.
Even tell people you hate. Tell them
we're here.
especially.
Yeah, just tell them. Just
Tell,
spread the word. We need
celebrities.
In fact, actually, if that's another thing, actually, that I want to ask. We have had a noticeable uptick in listeners for the past 2 months, I'd say. We've been getting more listeners. If you're new to the show, get in touch. Let us know how you found us, because I'm so curious to know what's happened this past month or 2 months. That suddenly we're getting all these new listeners. But welcome aboard. Good luck for the next 2 months. It gets quite tense. Strap in. Should we get to the feedback from last week's show, Matt?
Yes, we're going to start with John Dishwasher. After the sad spectacle of last week's end credits music debacle, during which you dismissed legitimate concerns of the silent majority of your listeners, not racist, just sick of long theme tune mixes, can I suggest the real issue is the non-appearance of the post-credits outtake? If I'm guaranteed a classic James non-sequitur, I'll listen to any old shit. Love the show, keep doing what you do. From John Dishwasher.
Well,
we didn't get any feedback from obviously people last week who messaged us
Charlie?
saying, please, Charlie, please don't add in more of an outro. I mean, I did. Maybe that's why we haven't heard back from them. But it's
I'll say a couple of things. The first being, is James aware that his isolated audio sometimes get used at the end of the broadcast? Is he?
I was not aware of this. No.
Okay.
Well, that would require him to listen to the show, Dave.
Yeah. It's been going on for many years, Dean. Many years.
The good thing is that he's not even going to go back and check, are you, James?
It's not always James, though. It can be.
No, it isn't.
Whoever.
And it doesn't happen as often as it should do. But if I find something, I'm like, that's going at the end.
Yeah.
Right. The second thing is, I was actually quite surprised by how many people come up and said, please stop putting the full version at the end.
Oh, did they? Oh, I missed this. Where was
I
this?
saw quite a few. Discord, there was a couple of tweets.
Yeah. I couldn't believe
it. Relatively speaking, very low percentage of our listener base, but do you know, it did make me go, oh, I thought everyone loved the long version, but maybe they don't. I mean, it's your call. What do you think?
I like it.
All right then.
I suppose
we're the most important people here.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Maybe we should have. So we had the standard 29-second one. We had a 2-minute one. Now I'm thinking 5-second. Let's do a 5-second one.
Yep.
Not what the one that you originally wanted to be the intro theme. It's like.
I was going to say, can we just play the 2-minute one in 5 seconds? Just speed it up.
Yeah, let's press it.
We're doing that this week. We are doing that this week. Reduce it down to 5 seconds. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
please. If that's possible, Sean, I know you can probably do that. 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
I'll have a go. See what I can do.
Lovely. Next bit of feedback.
Awesome. This is from Chris. Hello, chaps. I wanted to comment on the discussion a few weeks back about whether doors being shut help prevent fires spreading. I'm so glad Chris has emailed. I don't want to criticise anyone's point of view, but it's my understanding that doors being shut can help significantly slow down the spread of fires between rooms, which in the case of a fire can prevent significant damage to property and even worse too. This isn't just limited to big, heavy fire doors either. Even a cheap door can make a dramatic difference in the spread of a fire around the home. My father-in-law is a fireman and fire station watch manager of over 20 years, and he makes a point of closing doors at home whenever they go out, whether it's practical or whenever it's practical at least. He's shown me pictures of properties where a closed door has been a difference between total devastation and a room barely being touched by the fire. This might sound like an unnecessary or unwarranted bit of feedback on a fairly flippant conversation, but it's stuck in my mind and I felt like I should send it regardless. You never know who might hear it or what might happen, I suppose. Love the shows. From Chris.
Slightly wrong there, Chris. Slightly wrong. For starters, we're talking about two different things. Matt was talking about with people in the house, and it's not the fire that you should be worried about. It's the smoke, which is why, the doors that we have on our normal rooms, they don't make a difference. The smoke just gets through them. You got no dampeners on them and getting anywhere. And again, if you've got less than a 30-minute door, which most doors are way less than that as standard, then it ain't going to survive much unless it's a heavy-duty, proper, decent door. But who's got that in this day and age? Nobody. Go knock on your door. Echoey. So I would have to say, I don't rub with that, and that's not the stuff that I've learned in my career.
I think Chris and his father-in-law speak sense, and so I'll go over Chris on this.
I mean, certainly there's no
I'd rather
harm.
trust the fireman of 20 years than you, David. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's no harm in closing all the doors. We can agree on that, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing
There's
wrong
no
with
harm in closing all the doors. But I'm
Dave's
just
not
saying it makes no
aggressively
difference when
saying-
it comes to a fire.
it. Yeah, like Dave's not aggressively saying, "Don't fucking bother." There's no fucking
Never shut a door.
Who gives a shit?
I hate
No,
shutting
I'm just saying it
doors.
won't make much of a difference, especially if there's people in the home, because it's the smoke that you're worried about,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the fire itself.
I mean, do we need to test this? You know, like
No, James, there are various different companies that test this on a
I'm
regular
sure
basis.
there is. Yes.
And I'm in constant conversation with them throughout the week. So yeah, no, I think we've got that bit covered.
No, but do we need to test this?
Have you got any matches?
I've got some
and
actually.
a house
Go on,
that
then.
no one needs anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to see this, please go to our YouTube channel.
it's gonna
James
be
is going to
it's gonna be
set fire to
great.
his front room.
It's gonna be next month's Patreon content. It's gonna be house set on fire, just to test it. Next email
yeah.
is from Reese Hickey, who I scanned this email when I put it in the doc, and I'm going to say Reese Hickey is probably my favourite listener now of all time.
Okay.
To answer my last email, so Reese Hickey is the person who is a welder who said he was listening to the show last week. To answer my last email, technically it is dangerous to listen to the show while welding, but I work in a small firm, not really spoken to, just turn up and do my job and go home. Very rare that people actually need to talk to me.
No.
Also, I was supposed to say episode 68, not episode 6. I'm Connor on episode 73, recent loot box madness. Maybe 74 by live stream. And then also he follows up by saying, sorry, 76, not 73. Christ, I can't even get this right. So that is Reese Hickey the welder.
Cool.
It's good to know, but you really probably shouldn't listen to the podcast while welding, basically, unless no one talks to you.
Sure, it's absolutely fine.
Absolutely fine.
I'm sure it's absolutely fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
Leave your doors open. Weld while listening to this. Do whatever
there's
you
a lot
want. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
He did have a question
country,
here.
innit?
Which I'll sneak in just because I think it's a very quick answer. But extra question: do you know if Activision ever used that patent where they matchmake you with premium skins to encourage people to spend money?
Oh,
I remember us talking about that.
Yeah, they talked about it, didn't they? I don't know if they actually ever went through with it or not.
Probably only a matter of
There
time.
was quite a lot of backlash.
What
but-
was it? Was it Connect where that patent came out for Connect and it had the diagram of someone shouting McDonald's?
Oh my god, yeah, to make the advert go away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh god, there was some wild patents, wasn't there? There's some absolute wild ones that have come out and never amounted to anything.
I think that patent said you had to shout the brand name to turn the advert off.
Yeah.
I would like to see that again, actually. This is from STK. Hi, TCGS. Was just thinking about the Game of the Year show, and I thought about a game you all missed. It has been considered one of the best narrative experiences in 2020 that recently got a port to the Switch, and that's 13 Sentinels: Aegis Rim. I thought it would not be a contender, seeing as it's a port, and there have been quite a few good games to fight over this year's GOTY. But I recommend that one of you check it out when you get a chance. I'll also be mean to write in for months about the Switch, as well as Nvidia have stopped production of the chip used in the Switch in Q1 this year. There's no way they could drag out the Switch's life longer than 2 years more, unless they are not looking to try and sell the console for another couple of years and just the software. Anyway, have a good one. Love the show. That is interesting that they've actually stopped that chip now. So, they just got enough chips stocked that they can just keep doing it for another 2 to 5 years?
I think that's probably
or are they
what
actually
it is.
Say, hang on, we do actually need to
There's
upgrade
no
this.
way that they're just gonna go to Nintendo and just say, "Yeah, sorry, we're not making that no more." It's
well, you're not buying these in the millions anymore.
Yeah.
This would be more of a situation of Nintendo going, we got enough now to last us for the rest of what we believe the generation will require.
Yeah.
See you later. Okay, we'll stop making them then. Yeah, it's so true. Nintendo. Hi, Nvidia. Yeah, we need another 7 million chips. Nah, mate.
All right, it's just that we've brought literally billions of dollars here for you. Do you not want to
put it in the bin? Do not want it.
And that chip was a year old in 2017.
Mate, fucking hell. Honestly, I'm getting sick of how shit
chip.
the Switch is now.
Yeah.
It needs to sort itself out. It needs to shape up, come out with a new one.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting with Sura. Hey, tasty boys. Just gotta say, the way David says router is beautiful to Aussies. He. Do you want to give us? Do you want? Go on, David. Tell everyone. Hey, say
Router. I say router, don't I? Or do I say router? I think
say
I can't
router.
remember.
Say
If I say
router,
router.
don't we all say router the same way, don't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyone say-
do you know why that's probably funny?
I know the Americans say router.
Router.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Do you know
I
why
don't know if
say router?
Aussies do that.
Australians?
Fucking router,
Router.
mate.
Do you know why it's probably funny though?
Why?
Because
It's router.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that grow up. Making me. I'm joking.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, the chat is
Um,
pointing out that roots is Aussie slang for shagging. So, yep, makes sense.
They continue. Your description of Sonic sounds like an open world designed by a college student Kojima on crack. This from that and this and ooh this. We'll finish it later. And oh my god and all this. And now seriously, here's a story. No. Still with Sonic. I'm fine. Why do you ask? Yeah, that's probably just a small section of last weekend, last week's Sonic Frontiers discussion.
I just can't get over. I can't wait to hear more from James. I could not because I played maybe an extra 20 minutes this week, and even then I've got so much to talk to you about, James, in those 20 minutes. Okay, right, is that it for the feedback?
Yeah, go to tcgs.co/deartcgs. Leave your feedback whenever you want.
God, we've got the news to come, and it's been quite busy, I think, James.
Yeah,
No?
kind of busy. I mean, not very interesting. Like a lot of
Oh,
stuff, I don't
fucking
think,
hell!
but-
We don't. Let's
no,
not
it's
review
it's
the
fine.
news until
No,
the
'cause
end.
I've got down here. I've got Nintendo had a indie world showcase. I've written down here. Let Sean pick some that he thought were good.
Oh, okay.
So what was good, Sean?
I'm on. Pepper Grinder. Have a look. Looks like a really cool sort of 2D action game where you're basically this woman with like this giant fucking drill. So you're running and jumping around, but then you're like digging into bits of the terrain and then flying out. And it looked really, really good.
See, what looked cool about that was like the momentum kind of thing of that, of like grinding out.
Why the fuck have I just googled Pepper Grinder? Obviously, the game's not going to come up, is it? Jesus. Okay.
Dordogne looks really nice. I mean, this has been around for a while. It's not out yet, but it's been, it's got this really beautiful watercolor art style. So it's one of those that's like done the rounds on Twitter quite a lot. Pleasant game about a woman sort of revisiting this area that she used to go on holidays to as a kid and discovering memories and stuff. But it looks.
What would that be
stunning.
for you? What would that be for you, Sean? What area would you go to?
Fucking camping in Snowdonia, mate. And
That sounds
alright.
Snowdonia. That sounds like somewhere in God of War.
What's Wales, Dave?
Oh, is it? Snowdonia. What a name for a place. When you turn it, is it just shit? Is it just like a field?
Pretty much. No, there's a big fucking Snowdon, big mountain, and some towns with not a lot to do if you're 6 years old. But
I don't know it, mate. I'm not slagging it off.
You thought it was fictional about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, I thought it was in God of War a little while ago. Mine would be the Isle of Wight. Ooh, the Isle of Wight, baby.
Yeah. Sandown, lovely part of the world.
I like the Isle of Wight.
The other thing that I think was a surprise is that A Little to the Left is out on Switch. Did we know this? I think I'd assumed it was on Switch, and then when it came out on Steam, I was like, oh right, it's just out on Steam then. And,
because that was part of it was obviously was it an E3 thing? Oh no, but that was
part of Day of the Devs, wasn't it?
Yeah, Day of Devs, yeah. And obviously
a little to the left seems to right. This is terrible, and I'm probably so wrong. It's probably been in development for ages. But I looked at this and I just thought someone trying to cash in on the old, that game that came out last year, Unpacking. Like, is it someone going down?
Yeah, no, it's been around longer than that, I think.
Right. Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
That's me being mean then.
It is.
I just had a thought. What was that game where it looked like it was an adventure inside someone? Was it called Inside?
Oh,
what was that game called? It always shown at the PlayStation thing.
I want to say
Devil
The
Inside.
Devil Inside.
It was the Devil Inside. Yeah,
okay.
it came out, didn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Did it really?
No.
James.
It feels like that was shown like about 5 years ago.
I know.
It's been in
really
development for
doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of things feel like that these days.
Little Devil Inside, is it?
Little Devil Inside, that's the one.
So, yeah,
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry. No, that is not out yet, is it? That looked wonderful.
It did.
But yeah, it's gone silent on that. It says there's a running theme at the moment where we see an indie game and go, whoa! And then it's like 3 years later, you're like, huh? Which probably brings you on to the next game on your list, surely.
Yes. Sports Story is coming out next month.
It's mad!
This was
looks
revealed
awesome.
like what 3-4 years ago.
3 years ago, and they showed like at it was 2 or 3 Nintendo Directs like in a row. They showed it, and it was like, whoa, and then nothing for 3 years.
I genuinely thought this was dead.
Same.
Because we heard nothing for so long, and then it's like, yeah, it's out next month. Hey. Brilliant, fine. I didn't.
Yeah.
I know I didn't play as much of Golf Story as you did, Dave. I sort of ran out of steam with it, but
I loved it.
yeah, I'm very happy to see this coming out, and I know I will at least laugh at it quite a bit, even if I don't.
Yeah, the
necessarily...
last one was really funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
James, what were you shaking your head for there? What?
No, I played it. I thought it was all right. I didn't think. It was
I
amazing.
remember now. James
Yeah.
didn't understand the special moves.
Yeah, I got frustrated. And,
You got right near the end, and I went,
Yeah.
"No, there's a button that you press that does all that stuff for you automatically."
Yeah.
What? It's called a special move. Just use it whenever you need it. You were right near the end as well.
I was
weren't
right
you?
at
You
the
went
end,
through
and I
this.
played the whole game without that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's one of those.
I mean, maybe I should go back.
No, just start a new one, man.
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah. Because that'll have the golf stuff in it anyway, won't it? So.
Well, I mean, this is my only worry, is because I didn't think the first one. I mean, like the golf wasn't the entire point of it. There was other stuff going on, like say the writing was really funny and stuff. But I didn't think it was like an amazing golf game, and this has got like a dozen different sports in it. So
are you worried that they're
surely-
going to be? Are you worried that it's going to be spread thinner?
Yes.
Or do you think actually there might be a couple of good ones in?
Well, I suppose it depends, doesn't it? Like if you can sort of pick and choose what you play, and you can just pick your favourites and stick with them. But I don't think it's going to be like that, is it? It's going to be
it won't.
the story's
It'll
going
chop
to take you around all
chop
of
and
them.
change a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
mate,
then
I'm
maybe if
bang
they're
up for
all,
it. I'm
you
all
know,
for that.
if none of them are amazing, but they're all like intentionally like quite a light touch, and you don't play each one for that long anyway, maybe that's fine. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think you've ever thought about a game as much as you have this one right now. I think this is living in your rent
really-
free,
I'm
isn't it?
gonna-
Is that the phrase?
Can I have a lie down after this?
I just looked into it. I was like, Sean, like, surely you're going to want to get us on like Steam Deck rather than Switch, but it looks like it's just coming to Switch.
Is it? It's not coming to Steam as well.
I mean, I've just googled everything mentioned Switch. There's no mention of any other
Why?
platform.
Why would you want this game? I don't think would matter, would it?
yeah, probably
Well,
not.
I
It's
just
not
feel like
exactly
the-
pushing the.
Yeah, I guess, but
Rather.
like I feel like most we've spoken about this, but yeah, like okay, what's the Switch performance gonna be like? And it's always a risk. Whereas you got Steam Deck now, you'd be like, well, sure.
Yeah, but for something like this, it'd be fine.
Yeah, this is a top-down like 2D. This is this will run fine, I think.
Can't wait for the
yeah,
slow
no,
down
I
to
will
be
play.
recorded by
I'll play
Digital
this. I
Foundry.
don't know if I'll get to it next week, but I will play this game because I enjoyed the last one so much.
That's a good job 'cause it's not out till December. So
Hey.
I thought you said next week.
So no, next month we said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right, I'll play it next month then. All right, why? You're jumping on.
hey,
So,
you
I
really
mean-
embarrassed yourself there, David.
Honestly, stop. Okay. Next.
Leave off. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't an amazing direct. I didn't think.
Yeah, I got that impression, Sean, when we're like, oh shit, the direct was today.
Mhm.
Oh, no one on Twitter is talking about it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a weird one, isn't it?
I mean, at least it wasn't, wall-to-wall farming simulators and stuff, because that's been a problem previously.
That has been a problem for a while, hasn't it?
That was the joke that I saw on Romac, where people were like, get ready for the farming simulators.
Man.
just before it
Yeah, they
started.
love that stuff, don't they? Or and you can go into dungeons. They said that on the Sports Story trailer as well. I was a little bit like, I don't want to go into dungeons. I want to go into dungeons. Okay, all right, fine.
Okay,
James, are you
should we-
all right,
should we
mate?
move on? Well, I didn't know if Sean had any more games, did I? I mean, how can I possibly have known whether Sean had any more games?
We just
at
got
that
to
point?
the end. We
Yeah.
just-
Myself and Matt seem to
You
have picked
didn't,
up
yeah,
on
but
that.
you didn't say like, okay, this is my last game. Like, so
Okay,
how
Sean,
can I know?
can you redo your bit, please?
Well, which bit?
Just the bit. Oh, that was that, and that's
Yeah.
Sports
And that was the
Story.
final
last
game
game that I'm going to
They
talk about.
showed at the
Exactly.
conference, and therefore also the final game that I would like to talk about from the conference. Thank you.
There you go, perfect. Then I can move on.
There was
Know
a lovely
exactly what it is.
conclusion there. Very
Yeah,
clear.
you have to have. You need a
conclusion.
conclusion. You don't just stop.
There was a
talking.
conclusion, Dave, and I was like, that's the end of the conclusion. There's some summarising, and then we'll move on.
Anyway,
Always someone else's fault, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
this is just ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's
Anyway.
always ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh,
Always someone else's ridiculous fault.
fuck's
Go on.
sake. Anyway,
Fuck's
Always
sake.
fuck's sake.
So, Animal Crossing: New Horizons is now the best-selling game ever in Japan.
That
and
is mad.
That is wild, isn't it?
It beats the
Considering
previous
it's rubbish.
bestseller, which was Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green. That was the previous bestseller. But the thing that's quite interesting about this is, out of the top 20 best-selling games ever in Japan, only 2 of them are not Nintendo games. The rest are all just all Nintendo
Right, let me
games.
try and guess. One of them's got to be. It's not Warcraft, is it?
Nah, not in Japan.
It would be Monster Hunter, a Monster Hunter game.
Yep,
The
And
PSP one.
yep, exactly right.
Right, okay, that's one of them. And the other one is probably Halo Infinite. Give me the prize.
Here we go, definitely.
it'll be
Oh no, because they're all on Game Pass, aren't they?
It'll be
They don't
it'll be a JRPG, but I couldn't decide between Final
What,
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy?
Either Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. I would have thought.
It is Dragon's Quest.
It's Dragon
and
Quest. Okay.
and it's Dragon Quest
Is
9 on
it?
DS. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what have you got the list of top 10 in front of you?
I have, yeah. It's
All right, okay, so let's try and get them. So we've got 2 of them. Right, so these next games are Nintendo games.
Okay, so the whole top 10 is Nintendo games.
Right,
The
okay, the whole top 10
the
is Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I mean, I will question that because probably there's a couple of Pokemon games in there and they're not technically Nintendo games. So, check yourself before you rate
Oh,
yourself,
no,
mate.
these Nintendo
Published.
published
Published
games.
by,
There you go.
yeah.
Check yourself before you rate yourself, mate. Right, so what are we putting up there? Splatoon? Splatoon's on the top 10, right?
I don't know.
Yes, it is. No, it's not in the top 10. It's in the top
Right.
20.
Okay.
So no, it isn't, is the answer to that question. Shit, man. So what other Nintendo games? A Fire Emblem game in the top 10?
No.
No.
What's the Mario's to start with, surely?
There's one. No, how many Mario games? One.
There's 7.
2. There's 2.
Just
There's two-
name big popular games. I've got a
There's
list
2.
here.
There's two mainline Mario games in the top 10.
Odyssey.
No.
Mario 3?
No.
No.
Mario World.
It's gonna be a long show, isn't it?
Mario and Sonic and the Olympic Games.
No, the only one they've got. So there's Super Mario Brothers, the NES version.
Right.
Is
Never
in
heard of
there,
it.
You know.
Like the Famicom
Rubbish.
one,
Yeah.
and also New Super
All the
Mario
really-
Brothers on
Really?
the NES. Yeah,
New Super Mario Brothers on the DS.
All right.
but none of the
Wow.
others, which is kind of weird.
Okay, Brain Training on there.
It is, but it's not in the top 10. I mean,
So it's
let's
not
just
on there then.
cut to the chase here. The top 10 is mostly Pokemon games.
Oh,
Really?
it's just Pokemon games, is it?
Apart from Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers, they're the only ones that are in the
Smash
top 10 that are
Brothers.
not.
Why the fuck didn't I think it's right? Okay, oh, that's
It's
interesting.
not very good, Dave.
But
That's
yeah.
why.
Animal Crossing
Yeah.
at the top of the list. Wow, and but that's not very good, Sean. That's what I don't get. It's
true.
I mean, what's mad about that is they've sold so many of those, and it's been such a wasted opportunity.
Yeah,
Yep.
really. Could you
Yep.
imagine if they? Oh my god! Could you imagine if they managed to keep the ball rolling after
if they
that
were
initial?
still doing content updates, like with,
Oh
with
my
new stuff,
God.
you know,
We'd still be playing it if it didn't.
Yeah.
If we didn't have that massive period between us thinking, sort of done everything, and now it's just repeating it. Like that. To be fair, that was a year. But could you imagine if they were still doing cool shit? Wow.
I actually played it a couple of weeks ago. Elodie and I thought we'll go back to our old towns and
Lots
see
of
what it's like.
cockroaches.
Yeah, full of cockroaches, weeds everywhere.
Cool.
And I went to the shop and I was like, I've got that. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, I like the fact that they talk to you like shit as well. They're like, "Where the fuck have you been?"
where have you been? Yeah, yeah.
And technically, we've not been alive while you've been away.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
I saw this list and I thought, wow, like the top selling game ever, and it's only like 10.4 million. But I guess it's just Japan. So
It's
Yeah.
just Japan. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that doesn't feel like much in the grand scheme of things. But
No, I suppose it isn't, is it? But there you go. All right.
And then overall, also the Switch has now sold more than 114 million consoles, which is quite a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. It's done
I
very
want to
well.
go back to the. I think they projected that they wanted to sell 80, and James was adamant on this show
Yeah,
that
I'm
they
sure it
weren't
was that
getting
they
anywhere
were not
near
going to do that. Yeah, I mean, this has blown me away, like how successful this has been. I mean, it turns out that according to these lists, it's the Switch and the DS are now the most popular platforms there's ever been in Japan. Like
That's
it's,
mad. That is, it is mad. It is mad. Like, I'm not taking the piss out of you, but yeah, I mean, this is coming off the back of the Wii U. Like, Nintendo weren't on their knees, I don't think, but they were only like, if this failed as well,
yeah.
then they'd be on their knees, you know.
Yeah.
so is the
but
next one going to be a
fucking hell,
smash or is it going to be a disaster?
It'll be
saying
another Smash. I think they've learned their lesson. I think
Didn't we say
When
that
you look-
after the Wii though?
no, yeah, but here's the thing. The Wii came out. It was a massive success. The Wii U is a combination of them trying to appeal to normal games players and people that spend money on games, but also aiming for that family, everyone, the success of the Wii. It was trying to combine those two things. And then they got to the point where they went, that's not working. Let's drop the mainstream stuff and let's just go back to making a really good video games console. And they did that and they smashed it. And I think the next one, as I think we said last week or maybe the week before, it was like you look at the Joy-Cons, they're the last little tremors from the Wii period, right? It's got. But when you look at the games that people have bought for this system, they are not games that use that stuff. So I think the next console we may even see a Switch style console. I still think it'll be portable and whatever, but you won't be able to detach the things. Imagine like a Switch Lite, but it comes with a controller as well. So boom, you put it in, you've got a controller. They'll get rid of the whole, taking the bits off. Although saying that, they've probably made a lot of money on Joy-Cons.
They've made a
Exactly,
fortune on Joy-Cons.
The
Yeah.
special edition versions.
That's got to play on their mind a little bit.
Also, the other thing that's happened is when the Wii U came out, that was also at the height of like mobile gaming still being a thing, like people playing games on mobile, which obviously people still do like massively. But then there's like a niche now though that Nintendo seems to have found of people still wanting to own like a portable console and like the Steam Deck as well.
I was going to say, the Steam Deck and all the imitators thereof as well. Like obviously that's all inspired by the Switch, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I still think they will have detachable Joy-Con because I thought, well, not just as you mentioned, like the money they make off the spare ones, but or special edition ones. I just think I can't see Nintendo, even if all the signs pointed to they don't need to, they always want some kind of gimmick. And even if it's the same one, they're like, we'll put it out there. Maybe a developer will use it. Maybe one of our games in the next 5 years will use it. But they'll do it for that alone because I can't see them just saying, well, let's just go absolute basics and just deliver a standard console. I think they're just going to want to have something in there, just on the off chance.
It depends what you mean. It depends what you mean. Like if you look at what Sony did with their controller, you could argue that's a gimmick. And I can see them getting into that, HD Rumble stuff, a little HD Rumble Plus and all this sort of shit that they'll be feeding us. I wonder how much they. I think going back to the original point, what got us onto this subject, I do think they've probably learned their lesson from the Wii U, and I think them coming out and trying to appeal to the mass market again, like they did with that, to try and recapture some of the success of the Wii. I just can't see them doing it. I can't see them doing it.
Seeing as this has been such a massive success, which is it's closing in on the Wii. Like, why would you need to do that? And I mean, I really think this is going to be more of a NES to Super NES situation than like a Wii to Wii U situation.
I think it's going to be way more powerful than the Switch. I think it's going to be way more capable. Because they'll want to sell this next console for years and years to come. And for it not to get sluggish so quickly.
Because it feels like, man, already, or not already, it's been going out for a fair while, but it feels like, okay, games are struggling now. We've said a million times, you don't automatically just go for the Switch version. You have to do your research whether it's an actual decent performing version. But then, like that's the way they did with the Wii and other consoles. But it feels like is it worse? Is like the disparity between where we are with PS5 worse than where we are compared to Switch? Or has it always been like this, but it just feels different? Or
I also think we're massively overthinking this because that's the kind of thing that we do because we own all the consoles and stuff like that. Whereas out of that 114 million people that have bought these machines, quite a lot of those people don't own other consoles. And
that is true. Yeah. But then
but then quite a lot of those people have bought 6 for their 4 people family. So
also true. It's true. Yeah. And then kindly giving them to friends, and it's
I wouldn't know
hiding them from the family. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what their next move is. I really can't wait to see what they've got next. And as I've said a million times before, I just pray that part of what they've got next involves on some sort of normal internet infrastructure. We've been saying this for the past
absolutely
3
no.
Good one.
consoles.
That is one of the things that they've said recently, is that like the most important thing to them at the moment is this Nintendo account thing, and how
Yeah.
they're going to be putting a lot
yeah, I
into
saw
that as
that.
being
Right,
as
but
being
it's
the
shit.
thing going forward. I
They
know
need
it's shit,
to
but
evolve it in a big way.
well, of course they do. But then that would indicate that they are going to be focusing on hopefully at least backwards compatibility.
You know-
or at least
you know
stuff
the-
going over.
You know the Sonic cycle that you love so much?
Yeah.
The Nintendo cycle is also, I think, they're going to fix the internet stuff. Getting all excited.
No more
What are they
friend
doing?
codes.
And then friend codes. Friend codes for each game as well.
Voice chat? No, you get an app.
Yeah, that. Oh my god, I want to see a picture of the Splatoon headset again.
Oh yeah, James, I was going to ask you. Like, I saw that thing in the week about Nintendo saying, Nintendo accounts are really important, and I was like, well, what? Why did that happen? But yeah, basically, it was like a investor Q&A following its financials, and it's saying in the Nintendo Switch, it feels like we've gotten closer to our consumers via Nintendo account.
I think that's Dave finding the
hardware
picture
software
rather
business
than...
that capture the spirit of Nintendo will be essential to the main activities that spring from the strategy described in today's briefing. So clearly, yeah, they're already thinking about the future.
I think what they mean there is that they've sold a lot of digital downloads through the eShop, and it's like we see growth.
I'd forgotten that the Splatoon headset plugged into a squid-shaped box, splitter box, which then you had to plug your phone, and not only that, your phone with a headphone jack. I mean, they were fading out by that point, weren't they?
Yeah, they definitely were. Yeah.
The headphone jack, mate, because of Brave Apple. Right, is that it?
Just
Yeah,
quickly,
that's it.
just to contextualise the 10.5 million. So the population of Japan is 125 million. So that means everyone you meet in Japan, there is just shy of a 10% chance that they own a copy of Animal Crossing.
Wow.
I wonder what it's like over here for that percentage-wise.
Nowhere near that.
You don't think? How many people in this country? 60 million, isn't it?
60,
Something
70
like that,
million.
yeah.
67.
Okay. Sorry, just having a little wonder in my mind.
Anyway, next story is there's been an update on the Disco Elysium stuff because we heard that there was disputes going on. So now there's now sort of two sides to this story that are sort of beginning to come out. So there's Robert Kurvitz and Alexander Rostov have alleged that they were defrauded and then removed from Zaum, isn't it? I'm supposed to say it.
Zaum or whatever, yeah.
Zaum,
Yeah, I don't think anyone truly knows, but
okay.
yeah, Zaum.
So they claim that what happened was there was an Estonian company that's called it's called
It's a weird name for a company.
Is it
how do you spell that?
is it Tureki? I don't know how to pronounce this.
Tutrek.
Tutrek.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're mangling that. Sorry.
Tureki sounds right. Tureki sounds right. Go on.
There's two T's in it. Tutrek.
Yeah.
Tutrek.
No.
Tutreek.
Anyway,
I just don't correct him. Let him get it wrong throughout the whole news story. It'd be funny.
With it? Anyway,
Yep, Tureki.
so they acquired a majority stake in the company, and then so this is what the Robert and Alexander had to say about this. They said, as soon as they became majority shareholders, we were quickly excluded from daily operations. Our employment was terminated, and our access to the company's information was shut off. Our firing came weeks after we started asking for documents and financial data, which is still being kept from us. We have now learned that the other company must have obtained control over Zaum Studio OU by fraud. We believe the money used by this company, they've got the name, but I don't want to mangle it, to buy the majority stake was taken illegally from Zaum Studio OU itself. Money that belonged to the studio and all the shareholders, but was used for the benefit of one. Money that should have gone towards making the sequel. We believe that these actions, which in our view and the view of our lawyers, amount to criminal wrongdoing punishable by up to 3 years imprisonment, were perpetrated. We're now in the process of reviewing our legal options. Both civil claims and criminal charges are on the table in Estonia and the United Kingdom. So that's their side of things. So they're basically saying that this company came along and defrauded the company and sort of took it over and then kicked them out. So Zaum have then denied these accusations and have said that the pair were actually dismissed for egregious misconduct. And so this is what they had to say. They said, while we are confident that Zaum will prevail in the court once all the facts are heard, we believe it is necessary to address baseless claims and falsehoods, if only to rightly defend Zaum and protect our employees. The rumour that our decision to terminate the contract to these individuals was taken for financial gain is entirely unfounded and does not in any way reflect the facts. It was a decision that had to be taken for the well-being of the collective. Further, Zoem denies any claim of financial malfeasance or fraud that is being held against us. The vast majority of profits from Disco Elysium have been invested back into the studio in order to fund our next projects, which are currently in development. So then they also allege that that the sorry, I've got to go scroll back up. That Kravitz and Rostov were creating like a toxic work environment when they were there, and they alleged that there was misconduct in interacting with other colleagues that includes verbal abuse and gender discrimination and attempts to illegally sell to other gaming companies Zoem's intellectual property. So now basically the courts are deciding who's in the right.
One absolute mess. Obviously, first time we heard about this, they went and nothing was really said, nothing explicit, and then now we had their side, and now we've got the other side version to go against theirs. It's just, I mean, who knows what's actually gone on? It's sad that the future of Disco Elysium is seemingly up in the air with the original two creators out there. However, that's happened. Yeah, the whole thing is a total mess.
It is a total mess, and it makes you think like, even if they announce a sequel, you're not gonna get excited like you should do. You're gonna sit there and go, well, what's it gonna be like then? Do you know what I mean? And that's not to say that it's going to be bad, but it's just you look at it and you go, oh, it just puts a bit of a,
Yeah, and it's not just about the people that are now missing; it's the people that are now in charge. Like if the allegations are true, you sort of think, does it? Like I was saying when this first came up, I was saying like obviously there will be loads of other talented, smart people who still work at Zoem. Like it's not fair to be like, oh well, these like 3 people have gone, so now the game's going to be shit. That's unfair. However, what leadership are they now under?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I mean, without you,
go on, sorry.
You don't know. That's the thing. All we can go by is from these press releases and these comments that are being made and stuff, and it's just. Yeah, it's. I mean, reporting on it's fine, but comment on it, I just don't know what to say about it. Really, it's shit.
And basically, I guess we just have to wait for the courts to decide.
Well, I mean, even then, it's just kind of like fucking hell. We don't know. We don't know what's gone down between these people and these, and the and it just makes What can you say? It's like it's fucking shit. It's just as a fan of their game, it makes you go, oh man. It was so beautiful there, and it's been destroyed now. Not the work previous, but the whole buzz about if before this come out, if they announced or showed a teaser trailer for Disco Elysium 2, we'd be like, oh my god. And now if they did it, we'd go, hold on. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't it?
It is kind of tainted, and that sucks as a fan of video games, I think.
Yep.
It sucks as a fan. It sucks as people in that studio going for a lot, and there's allegations on both sides, and so it's just bad. It's bad for everyone.
It is bad. It is,
and
bad.
especially obviously a game that people appreciate as much as they did because it was so obviously critical of capital in general, and then for the creators to be embroiled in something like this is surely the last thing they would have wanted as a result of making that game. So it's just grim.
Okay, can I move on to a story then that's going to cheer you up, David, and everyone else probably?
Yes, please.
I mean, this is proper exciting stuff. So, FIFA have announced their first post EA games. Which ones that are going to come out that are going to be FIFA games, and they're going to. I mean, get excited.
Such a terrible company.
Get excited. They're going to be blockchain titles, like all of them.
Okay. They really?
Because of course they are.
Sweet.
But the best thing here is, I mean, some of these quotes are amazing. There's going to be 4 games coming out that are connected with the World Cup in Qatar. So these are all going to be Web 3.0 games using the blockchain.
That's mad though, because the FIFA video game, they have the World Cup in it.
But they don't have blockchain games, Dave, that are like Web 3.0 stuff.
No, but what I'm saying is that if FIFA. It's the FIFA World Cup, isn't it? So if FIFA stops being FIFA, will they still get the World Cup?
I don't know.
Probably
Maybe
not,
they have to
right?
pay for the license or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll probably call it like the EA World Championship.
Yeah. But
God.
even if it's not, you're going to have these to enjoy instead. So, I mean, this is the quote, first of all, from FIFA. They said, gaming and esports are some of the fastest growing opportunities for FIFA as it continues to expand into new digital spaces, platforms and games that are already welcoming football fans onto them. The new gaming integrations, all of which are designed with Web 3.0 and the future of digital entertainment in mind, are playable around the tournament and each have a unique twist on the globe's biggest football tournament. So that's FIFA's thing. That's the buzz. I'm now going to go through the games.
That's the
Oh my
buzz.
God, I'm just looking
Can
at
you
the
say that at the
names.
end of every news? Like when you get to the end of news, so,
buzz.
and that's the buzz.
That's the buzz.
Now it's time for The Buzz with James Farley.
Get a new theme song made, James. Get a new
Make
theme
sure
song
you got
made.
both feet on the ground. It's time for the buzz.
So anyway, here's the first game. The first game is called AI League FIFA World.
Oh, we've lost
Oh.
him.
Oh.
He's gonna get. He'll still be.
Ah,
talking.
look, his little face is
Play
frozen on
between-
that.
Play
Oh,
this
no,
between-
no.
James, you cut out, mate.
Do you want
that?
to take down the time of that?
What happened?
Oh, it's
Yeah, yeah,
better
you
do,
froze,
haven't I?
James.
We have got to edit that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I
Because-
freeze? Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
I tell you why, because James was carrying on talking and we're going, oh.
Oh,
You froze like this though, James. What was great about that is that you went,
only me.
only me.
Brilliant.
Right, okay,
Okay,
where were we?
At what point do I start from? Where do I
Straight
Um,
away
I-
when you started
Wherever you
talking,
like,
then
mate.
basically.
Yeah,
Name of the
so
game,
I'll-
basically.
After that's a buzz, yeah, start telling us about the next one or the first one.
Okay. So the first game is going to be called, well, it is called AI League FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 edition, and this is developed by
Catchy.
this is developed by Altered State Machine, and it's a 4-on-4 casual football game played between AI-controlled characters with player input at fun and tactical moments.
What?
Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
I know.
Oh, I see. So it'll be like, do you pass left or right? Or...
It'll be stuff like that. And it says the game
Right,
will
okay.
launch with a 10-week prediction component with digital and physical prizes available to those who correctly predict real-life matches.
Oh, hang on. This sounds okay. This sounds alright.
Well, sounds like gambling, Matt, and you know that you've been banned from that.
Back, baby.
You
I'm
have
back.
been banned from doing that.
Not
That's the
Okay.
first game. I mean, the pick of the crop is this next one. This
Oh
is
my
the one
God.
This is the
Go
one
on.
I'm most excited about.
Oh,
This one is called FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 in the Upland Metaverse.
Yes, please.
So
You're
this,
playing this.
Fucking hell.
This is a
James, you are playing
collaboration.
this one.
Yeah, this is a stream.
This is a collaboration with Upland Me. Upland is a blockchain-based metaverse where players buy and sell virtual properties. The FIFA collaboration will let players collect official FIFA World Cup digital assets, including legendary video highlights of the tournament, and travel to a virtual World Cup stadium and village to shop for digital items. So that's
Okay.
that's great. The third game is called FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 on, I think it's Phygital. I think it's supposed to be.
Oh, I see.
Let's get digital.
Because it's digital, but it's real, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's physical, digital. It's digital.
Sorry.
No,
That
it's
was
all
really
right.
good,
That's
anyway.
the happiest I've ever heard you in your life.
So in this game, so this is a fan engagement mobile application.
Oh, say
And
that
it
again,
says,
James. Say that
me.
again.
It says in this game, fans
Say it
can-
again.
a fan engagement mobile application.
Oh my god, I need to figure it.
In this
Stop
game,
it. Stop it.
In this game, fans can augment a Golden Globe football from the palm of their hands into their real-life environment, own a limited fragment of it, and attach and eternalise their hand-picked FIFA World Cup pictures and video moments.
That's what I want. As a fan of football, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Is
just
this
like a
wait? This is
different
just a, what an
species,
AR
aren't they?
AR with a right? Okay, so this is
Yeah.
just an AR with the this is just This is just an AR thing. I'm sorry, I would do this to James, but Sean has just texted me making me laugh, saying that Farley laugh is the post-music bit at the end this week. So, sorry, James. I know that. Sorry, Sean. I know that's grassing you up, but you totally threw me with that.
That's all right.
Right. So anyway, yeah. So what they saying? This is just that one of those things you hold up your phone and you can see the World Cup in your flat.
I think so. In the palm of your hand, you'll get, and then you get to eternalize the moments. Yeah.
Don't you do that thing that David Baddiel used to do, where you hold a big ball and then put it in custard and hold it up like that?
Yeah, it's on the World Cup. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that, Sean? Do you know that that's a thing?
No.
There's like he used to do it all the time. You hold a big ball, you put your arm in a like a bucket of custard, and then you lift it up like that, and it looks like you're holding the World Cup. I'll have to send you an image, but it's...
Yeah, it worked perfect with those kind of, you know, the mini Coca-Cola balls you had when you were in school.
That's
like,
right.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Okay, do you want to hear about the last game?
Yes, please. I mean, these first three I'm in, so let's hear about fourth one.
I mean, this one's a bit disappointing after those. This is called Matchday Challenge FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 edition.
Right.
This is a highly engaging, casual social prediction game based on football cards.
Right.
So
All right.
that's the only description
more.
there is. Yeah, that's all the description is. That's what the press release says. Yeah. A highly engaging, casual social prediction game based on football cards.
Well, I mean, if they say it's highly engaging, why would they
Why
lie
would they
about
lie?
that? So
Yeah.
must be
Well,
good.
it's not
then.
out yet, but it is highly engaging.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited to be highly engaged.
Here's the scary thing, right? Is that it really does, and maybe I shouldn't, like, FIFA's like a massive organisation, and maybe I shouldn't just judge it in a ridiculous way. Like maybe
you
I shouldn't just but it really does feel like some business people heard that EA weren't getting the FIFA license and just went in there and said, "Do you want to make some money?" And then the people at FIFA just went, "Yeah, just transfer it to our account and do whatever you want." And I've got a feeling EA are looking at this shit and just going, "No, do you know what? We've probably made the right decision here,
No.
not
yeah.
renewing this license, because getting associated with any of this shit is fucking sounds awful."
Although, having said that, EA were like, well, now we can finally do the things we've been wanting to for years. Maybe
Which
this
is
it
probably
also.
blockchains and
Yeah.
yeah.
They want their fans to eternalise their hand-picked FIFA World Cup pictures and video moments. We want to do it
Oh
for
my
years.
god. Oh my god. Yeah, this is gonna get nasty, isn't it?
I mean, the thing
Yeah,
is,
it's great.
these will probably all do really well because of the financial backing of FIFA and it's the
I
World
don't think
Cup.
they
and
will.
I think
Yeah, I
they'll
don't
do
think they
well
will
enough.
either.
Come on, nobody is going to play FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 in the Upland metaverse. That's just not.
Well,
You say back with FIFA money. I guarantee FIFA have just sold that license to that company and said, "Go ahead." Like
Yeah.
they're not going to promote any of this shit. They're going to take the money that they offered them for the license and see you later.
I mean,
Like,
the statement
there's
from the FIFA president's quite funny, though, isn't it, James?
What's it say?
I didn't say that.
It
Was
says
that?
right at the bottom. He says, "I can assure you that only authentic real the only authentic real game that has the FIFA name will be the best one available for gamers and football fans."
Right. So
That
he
was the one
said
from
this.
before,
Yeah.
yeah.
This was from. That's an old quote.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
said this when
So, yeah, it's his
it was confirmed that EA weren't going to renew the license. Yeah, and he looked at that and just went, "Fucking hell, what are you
Yeah, but
doing?"
that wasn't even the best line. The best line's the last one. The FIFA name is the only global original title. FIFA 23, FIFA 24, FIFA 25, FIFA 26, and so on. The constant is a FIFA name, and it will remain forever and remain the best. In cap.
You see,
I don't
I'm a-
think he knows. I don't think that person knows about video game development.
No.
Oh, so we've got the new FIFA game? Well, no, because they're not making it anymore.
No.
But we've got the game, haven't we? Just changed the number? No, we haven't got the game. It's not.
No,
that's
you
not how
got
it
the name.
works.
You got the name, but there's no game.
You got the
Well, that's
name.
just it,
You've
yeah,
not
there
got the
isn't
game.
a FIFA 23 or a 24 or whatever in the pipeline,
Yeah.
is there? If it's all
No.
just this
No, not yet.
Web3 shit, so there's no.
And
FIFA,
here's the
like,
thing that you've got to
console
explain
game.
as well. FIFA 23, where it's at now, is fucking shit because it's stagnated for so many years. However, it is still built up on 20 years, 25 years of video game development. It's all built up from that. You know,
It
and yeah,
it
they've had to
started in '94. Yeah.
scrap it or whatever, but they've had to scrap things and then start again and then rebuild again, whatever. But but it's still built upon that. And for someone to come along and say, we'll make a football game for next year, it's not going to happen, mate. That's years and years and years of hard work. Like, it's crazy. And then you can sit back and say, release the same one for the Switch again. When you get to that point, you can start saying that shit. There's probably enough FIFA chat, isn't it?
These are going to be mobile games, aren't they? Almost certainly.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I will stream all these. I'll do an evening
Half of them
of
don't
playing
sound
each
like
one.
games.
Yeah.
Sound like digital experiences to me.
James
I
Farley.
cannot wait and for like 5 years down the line when there is no FIFA football game or the ones that have come out are dog shit. EA are probably killing it with EA Sports FC, and the FIFA like, well, I know last time we said it'd be like 2 billion for the license, but how about 40 quid? Could you come back, please?
Or it ends up
can't see
becoming the
anything other
EA
than that
Sports World Cup because FIFA just buy it. It was EA
Oh
just buy
god,
it
that'd
off
be so
FIFA.
funny if EA buy the rights to the fucking FIFA, their World Cup. Next news story, please.
Okay, so Mass Effect 5 development is proceeding very well, and there's been a video has come out. There's been like a short teaser. Has anyone seen this?
No.
Damn, because I haven't either. But there was a short teaser that came out, and so what this was
Why didn't you see it? Hold on, why didn't you see it?
Because I forgot to actually watch it. Like, I was going to watch
When
it
did you put this
evening.
together? I'm going to watch it now. Go on.
Yeah, 'cause I knew it was
watched
M7 Day last week, but I
Yeah.
didn't see anything new. I just thought I saw them like sharing art and whatnot, but
Yeah, there was a short teaser trailer, and it seems from this teaser trailer that, like, do you remember Liara? The what was she? I've forgotten. What was the name?
Don't worry about
Asari.
it, Sean.
With this hour, yeah.
Yeah.
And she ended
So
up being the shadow broker, didn't she? Spoilers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Her voice it can be heard in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it does appear that this is set like several centuries after like Mass Effect 3. Like,
I mean, that's the right
after.
move, isn't it? There's no
Yes.
we've said before. Say what you want about Andromeda, it was a decent excuse to be able to do more Mass Effect because obviously the way Mass Effect 3 ended, Galaxy's not really the same no matter which way you go. But I'll also accept like a massive time skip. What I did find really quaint, just looking at the tweet, is you can download the video in HD.
Oh, nice.
And I was like,
Whoa!
surely they just mean it's on YouTube. No, you click it and it downloads a .mov file of the trailer.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's easy, isn't it? Because it's all coded messages, so they want people to completely chop it up and have a look through.
And
that's what they're trying to do, aren't
That's
they?
what people have been doing. Cause,
Rewind
you know,
it and to try and
enough.
decipher it. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
'cause,
Do you know what? I'm going to be fascinated to see how much EA try and fuck this series again. Because I mean, even when you look at Mass Effect 2 with the what did they do with Mass Effect 2? You had to do something. Otherwise, you lost loads of people in the final mission, and then in Mass Effect 3, that was the
to play
Let's play multiplayer.
no, that
to
was
get a
number
leg up.
3 where
That was
they
3,
did that.
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
3, they did the global awareness or whatever it was.
Galactic readiness.
Galactic
Scale,
readiness.
whatever,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
it. Jesus, it's so bad. But they
Yeah.
did something for 2 as well that was a bit like that and really annoying.
Was that when they started doing the free DLC in the box, i.e., don't buy it second hand, ScoMo?
Yes, they
thing.
did that stuff.
Yeah.
They did that. That was
Yeah.
that was all the rage back then.
Yeah, it was.
But I want to see if they do something similar for this one. You know, because that would, yeah. I'm just interested to see what direction they take this because you just don't want them to do that stuff. You want them to bring out a superb RPG back in that world, which has most of the hard work done for you. You know, you've created some incredible. You've created an incredible universe with incredible races that all have something interesting about them. Make a good story out of it. That's all we want, man.
I mean, in the video, that you see like there's a construction of a new Mass Effect relay is like going on,
Right.
but then also there's rumours that it might also be tied in with Andromeda as well, which I'd be very happy with that because,
Yeah, I'd be all right with
as
that.
you said, Sean, the
As
concept
long
of
as they
Andromeda
explain
was
it
great.
well enough, yeah. Yeah.
It's just that it had problems with it.
I'd love it if it was called Andromeda 2, just to wind people up. It won't be. They wouldn't go anywhere near that. And the box art said sorry, my face is still tired.
Well, I mean, it's not actually going to be Mass Effect 5, is it? Because Andromeda wasn't Mass Effect 4. The whole point was it was like a spin-off. So this will be something else again, I would have thought.
Could be, yeah.
I think that would make sense.
Yep.
Okay, long story is that the director of Sonic Frontiers has tweeted about the game. He said that the game is a global playtest and it's not quite there yet.
What?
A global playtest that costs 50, 60 quid to play, yeah?
So
now that it's out,
let me read the
I'm
whole
saying
quote.
this.
So he said, "I'm sorry I couldn't contact you because I've been busy since the release date. I'm relieved that the release date has arrived."
Wasn't
and that it
expecting him
seems-
to get in touch, to be honest.
Out of office.
Did he knock on your door and say this to you, James?
I wish he did.
Do you know what I've not heard
you
from?
up.
Mario Kishimoto.
Yeah.
He's
He must be
fucking...
busy.
What's going on there? Ghosted me.
Yeah.
Prick.
So anyway, so then he said, "I'm relieved that the release date has arrived, and then it seems to have reached everyone safely. We are checking the opinions of the critics and everyone. As you pointed out, we still have a long way to go, and we take this seriously as a global playtest. Reception to the game has been very good, yeah, in general. So yeah, it has been good."
He just slags off. Oh no, sorry, no. I'm misreading the thing. That's the quote from Eurogamer's review. I was like, why is he just criticising his own game? He's...
I mean, I'm going to save what I need to say about this until we talk about Sonic.
Mhm.
So maybe we come back to this.
Yeah. I think we can come back to it. Yeah,
Okay. Should
that's-
we get to what you've been playing?
yeah, because that's the end of the news.
Okay. It's the God of War special. It's the biggest
Damn
game out this week. Very excited to talk about it. It's a huge release.
One of the biggest games of the year.
It is one of the biggest games of the year. God of War Ragnarok come out last Wednesday, I want to say. Is that right? Matt, you've got it. How far in? How many hours?
They're 7.5 hours in.
Okay, so we might be around. I'm 9 hours in.
Cool.
James?
Well, I've got it. Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, how
got
much
it.
have you
How
played?
far are
it
you in?
for?
I haven't touched it yet.
So what?
Sorry,
what,
why?
have you been busy or
I mean, I've installed it. It's installed.
right?
I mean,
But I
that's the
haven't-
hardest bit, isn't it? That is the
Okay,
toughest
but
bit.
you knew that this was the biggest game of the year. You knew that this was the. I mean, we said at the end of the show last week this was the God of War special.
War.
Yeah, it's the, as we said last week, it's the Goddy War
You
special.
did say that.
It's the God of War special.
Yeah,
Why haven't you played it?
because I've been playing Sonic Frontiers.
God.
How far into Sonic Frontiers are you?
6-7 hours, I'd say, into it.
So James, James, I don't get it. This is one of the biggest releases this year. You're on the podcast. We're supposed to be covering it. Like this week is the biggest week to cover it.
Yeah,
and you're
this
playing
is-
a game that you've constantly told me is average, distinctly average.
Yeah.
Why are
it
you
may-
playing?
Okay, it may be distinctly average, and it may have a lot of issues that we'll get to in a bit. But I just wanted to play something where I didn't have to think about it. And that is the case when you play Sonic Frontiers, you
But
know.
you did that
Whereas-
last week. You played an hour last week.
I know,
This
but
is
it
now
needed,
God of War's
it needed
week.
more time. It needed more
Hold on.
time.
When was the last game you had to play that you had to think about?
What do you mean?
Did you go back to Inscription? Thinking about it now.
I did go back to Inscription. I played more
Did
of that,
you?
actually. Yeah.
Don't believe him, Sean.
No, I'm not convinced.
You're letting us down, James.
No, why? Look. This is the first
I
Sonic
think I've
game.
explained, haven't I?
No. Listen, right. This is the first Sonic game that's come out that hasn't been an absolute disaster in 3D, right? And
Right.
I've been enjoying just coming home from work and thinking I'm going to stick that on and go and get some rings.
Yeah, but it's not about you. It's about the thousands of people that listen to you talk.
They
I
want
know,
to hear
but I'm
about
going to
your
talk about
thoughts.
this, aren't I? I mean, people want to know about
They
Sonic.
heard it
You
last
imagine
week.
that. You imagine you're a big Foo Fighters fan. Imagine they just bought an album out and you listen to it and you're like, this is fucking incredible and we're seeing them tomorrow night. And then they'll come out on stage and say, oh, we didn't bother learning the new songs, so we didn't
but
bother
it's-
learning. Don't worry about those new songs and forget.
You and
Actually,
Matt
for
are
them,
gonna
it's probably a
talk
good
about
thing.
it.
But
I was going to
You
say.
and Matt are
I'm
going to
pretty-
talk about it, you know? So it's like I can offer an alternative perspective of another game.
We want an alternative perspective on this game, though.
even for you, that's a terrible argument. I've got so much to say about this game. I've got so much to say about it.
I'm really intrigued. Go on. I won't.
Where do we start? What are you intrigued about? Let's start.
Can
I'm
I tell you what
intrigued.
I'm expecting? Oh, sorry, go on.
I don't give a fuck what you've got to say, James.
All right, fine.
See, do you know what? I'll tell you what I'm expecting. You to do your job and play the game so we can talk about it on the show. That's what I was expecting.
Next week, innit? Maybe.
No, actually, James, I'm joking. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting negativity.
I was going to say, all I was going to say was, what I've heard so far from friends has not chimed with the review scores. However, I gather it's a bit of a slow burn to begin with.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's okay, all right. So we're going to try and keep as spoiler free for the opening for what we've played, right? You've heard how much we put into it. We will try and keep spoiler free. There's some things that I want to say that I don't consider spoilers, but some of you may, so just be aware of that.
Are those story beats or locations?
No, they are not story beats
No.
or locations.
So we're
I
not
will
talking
not
about
be
story
covering
beats,
any of that.
People you
No,
meet,
but
things you
that's
do.
what's annoying, because there is something in this that we absolutely have to talk about at some point.
At some
that
point,
we
we
can't
will,
talk about here, which is fucking frustrating when you're trying to review a game or discuss the good points and negative points. Let me get this out of the way. A great quote from our good friend John Denton. He's described this game many times as God of War cracks in rock, which is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. Because if you have not played this game, it's quite clear that it was not built for the PS5 from the ground up. My word, the hidden loading. Matt, you must have lost your mind playing this. I know how much you hate it.
Yeah, I mean, when you messaged me, I'm not sure, I don't think I played it at this point, but you messaged me saying Matt's going to hate this game. And I said, does it have a chase sequence, or are you squeezing in between two bits of rock? And it was the latter.
The squeezing between rock thing happens in this game more than any other game I've played.
So
right?
And the other one, it does. I'm sure you noticed, but like you go from the what, sorry?
The tree, when you're walking around that tree bit waiting for the door to load.
Well, yeah, the tree bit. I mean, it does in the previous game as well. But when you're going, going to the location, another one I've noticed is that you're going to another location, and it'll either be like really dark or really bright for like 2 or 3 seconds, and that is also certainly hiding loading as well. I mean,
I kind of think that's more of an artistic flair, right? Because there are moments where you're crawling out of caves, and it looks incredible when it does that. I think. I think that's more of art direction.
Like, I'm not complaining really, because they're doing this to avoid a loading screen to make it more seamless, and they have done that. It's just we're crawling.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. What I've got, I don't think they're doing that on the PS5. I mean, we know how quickly stuff can load on this thing, and I'm sure there is some loading required, obviously. But I think this is because it's also on the PS4, right? So those stuff, you can't get rid of the cracks in the rock. You know, in some way, in some regard, which sounds bad, maybe this game would have been better with loading screens, because then they can go, okay, you get loading screens on PS4, but PS5, no loading screens. It's fine. But instead, they're doing the cracks of rock thing, and you can't just take that out of the PS5 version, so they're still there. Yeah. So I'm almost certain the game's loading. But even in the tree, when you're going and you're waiting for that door to... When you travel between realms in this game, you go to sort of... It is like an interactive loading screen, right?
Yeah.
You go into this environment, you can't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything until the door loads.
Well, yeah, you basically run around in a circle with one path. Again, just like it did in 2018.
Yeah. But the problem is that they have lots of dialogue in those bits, because they knew that, especially on PS4, you're going to be in there for a little while. So the characters are talking to each other. So you can run around this tree like 3 or 4 times waiting for the fucking door to load in. And you're like, oh my God, like this is ridiculous. What you've heard is correct in my view, Sean, that it's a very slow start. And to the point where I was like, I am not digging this game at all. There's lengthy cutscenes. There's nothing new with the combat from where you left off in the last game. There's the menu system when you first get into that is so confusing that you're sitting there going, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be focusing on. It doesn't look particularly incredible.
Do you
for
not
the
think
first,
so? I think it does.
not
I
for the
think it
first
does.
like 2 or 3 hours. No,
Oh, hang on. Sorry.
None of,
My GarageBand's gone weird. It's just suddenly
Okay,
come up and
stop.
said, "Do you want to use the audio device Microsoft Teams audio?" No, I don't.
No one ever wants to do that.
Right,
Hang
hang
on,
on.
I'll
I'll
get
timestamp.
stop. And then I'll save it, and then do we do another one? Yeah.
do we all export or?
Fuck, don't know.
It's up to you, mate. You're editing.
Yeah,
this
it's
week.
probably best if James is stopping. Then we might as well all stop, right?
Okay, cool. I'll go and get a new drink. Sorry, everyone watching on Twitch and probably YouTube. This happens from time to time, so we're just gonna export and then just sort of restart. Not the whole podcast, don't
Let's do it from scratch.
I? What episode number is this?
327.
Sorry about that. I have literally no idea why it suddenly did that.
That's
It
all
just-
right.
Fucking happens, doesn't it? To be fair, we've been on a good run with that. It's not
Mm.
happened for ages.
it just suddenly
Yeah,
said,
apart from the
And at least you weren't talking. Yeah, at least, that's gonna make it a lot easier then.
yeah.
327-1. I'm gonna call it.
But also, do you know when it might have stopped?
It was literally at that moment. That's
Okay,
why I
cool.
said it immediately. So
Okay.
it's
Okay, cool. Right, I'm gonna go and pour myself a drink.
North. Well, what shall we do now? This is the problem, because it's not so bad. Like when we do the intro bit at the start, it's fine. We just talk, do sort of off-topic stuff. Whereas now it's like, well, I don't want to say anything that I might want to say on the record in a minute.
Well, no, we don't do anything.
So-
We'd wait
So
around a bit.
Just sit in silence.
Do our 3, 2, 1.
Oh, there you go.
A Grey Dragonclaw's
Yeah.
got a Marvel Calls question.
Go for it, man.
Let's
Yeah, you
go, Grey
can't
Dragonclaw.
promise I'll be able to answer it.
Also, Scientologist wants a Xenoblade 3 update, Sean. I finished it.
No, I do, because at the moment I am missing my Steam Deck like fuck. I am so sad.
How long has it been gone, and how long are you
So it was
expecting to
last
take?
Monday I sent it off.
Okay, so every week. Oh, no, a week.
Yeah, so I was sort of expecting to have heard something by now, but I haven't. So really, this is the ideal time to crack on with Xenoblade, right? But yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things coming out.
Yeah.
Surprising amount of things coming out this time of year.
It's weird, isn't it? And like everyone's saying Pentiment is amazing, which I was hoping it would be, but it wasn't like a guarantee.
Yeah, it got a 10 in IGN.
Did it?
And
Oh, fuck.
really great reviews everywhere.
People-
but-
Cool.
People are dishing out 10s like nobody's business at the moment. What was the Marvel Calls question?
Yeah, what was it?
Uh,
What
I know
was
you're up
non-stop?
to at least Black Widow. Yes, that's the last one we've recorded.
Okay.
Well, no, but the question was, at what point are you stopping films-wise?
Oh, so we currently, we said just before we started that it's probably going to be up until the end of this phase, which is Wakanda Forever, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll see.
Testing, 1, 2,
like,
3.
I mean, we don't want to go on forever.
I should
And
probably
it,
check
you know,
that.
it
back in
gets
a
to the
second.
point where it's like, who gives a shit about what we think about the new films, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of felt like we should have stopped at Endgame, really, but
Yeah.
or not Endgame, the one after that, the Spider-Man's, the end of
Spider-Man's.
Phase 4, whatever.
I still,
But, yeah.
obviously, don't say anything, but I'm still excited to see if you did eventually warm to Spider-Man's, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, this is it. A lot of people jumped on the Spider-Man episode, and there's stuff that I want to say that I know we cover later on, so
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to go into it, but yeah, it's been weird. What's weird is that even these latest ones that are going out are before we recorded the before we did the live show. It's fucking mad.
God, yeah, of course.
So crazy. I
Where's
wasn't
Matt
expecting
gone?
to get so much shit either. I don't know. It's popped out. I figure Endgame or End of Phase 3 would be a great end point. Well, yeah, there's also a cheeky little bonus episode that we've chucked in the middle of it that we recorded recently, so which
That's why
I
you've not
highly
mentioned that,
suggest.
have you?
No one knows what that is. That's a surprise.
Cool.
What's weird is
Closing the
Thor's
fire
hammer is an umbrella. What's up with that?
Don't
Ben,
start,
come on.
Ben.
Come on, Ben.
You gonna set him off? You gonna set him off?
Right, we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what we were talking about last. But,
I know what we're talking about. Leave it to me.
No, he's got some memory.
Um,
That's
why he's the
got some
host.
memory.
Everyone hit record. 3, 2, 1. Matt.
Matt.
Is mine recording? Yes. Right. And I don't know about you, Matt, but 3-4 hours in, I wasn't blown away with it visually. I didn't think it looked that great.
No, I think it does look amazing. I've been
I
really,
don't.
really impressed. And
I really don't. There's been some stuff later on, but those first 4 or 5 hours, there's nothing there. I mean, for a start, it's like.
Well, the bit where you're in the boat and you're in like the bit more of the open world area, discovering
That was okay. I mean,
it looked amazing. Yeah, I was so impressed.
We'll get to the visuals later, but no, I just thought that looked okay. I love the detail is what impresses me the most. I mean, in the clothing, but when you compare this to something like Horizon Forbidden West, it's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, I was absolutely blown away by that in terms of like facial animation. I think that is better than this. I'll have to compare side by side. I don't know. I mean, I've just been incredibly impressed. I mean, we should probably get over the boring technical stuff first. I mean, we're both playing in performance mode, right? Which is
right.
60 frames mode. I did switch it to quality, and
yeah, so did I for a second.
Drastically better, and 30 frames I just couldn't do it. It was really, really, really bad.
30 frames is terrible.
But and this is, I've got to say, this is the first time my TV is actually properly coming into its own. So I've got 120 hertz TV. I played 120 hertz games, one of which was Dirt 5 when it came out on Xbox around launch, and it was wow, 120 frames. That feels really different. It's really smooth, but graphics wise, they really had to tone it down. It was I don't know, it was 16p. It felt like 480p. It looked dreadful, in my opinion. But this is the first game where it looks stunning, and I can do it to high frame rate mode. I think Digital Foundry set is a consistent 90 frames a second. It feels incredibly smooth. It's the first time now where I'm okay, the game looks great. It's locked to 1440p, but it still looks amazing, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm getting 90 frames a second. So I actually think it feels like such a premium experience, and in the first couple of hours, I was like,
this just sounds like you're bragging. I've got an expensive telly, and it looks great for me. So I mean, none of our listeners have got this telly, but it looks good for me. So round of applause for me, please.
I'm so thankful we've got Sony who are delivering these kind of premium experiences. We have yet to get anything like this on Xbox, and it's not as a platform thing, but thank God we're getting these experiences where you really can't get anywhere else. And graphically it looks stunning. I had the 3D audio in the headset.
Well, I mean,
I'm thank God.
When you say hold on, when you say you can't get these experiences anywhere else, this is my biggest problem with the opening 5 or 6 hours of the game. It's really quite dull. The gameplay, the combat's fine. The combat was good in the last game. It doesn't feel like it's expanded on that in any meaningful way. The puzzles though are oh my god, and the way, honestly, we had a way of dealing with companions and puzzles, right? No one wants to get stuck on a fucking puzzle in an action adventure game. Puzzles can be quite fun, and they can give you the old thumbs up. Hey, you're thinking, you're doing something a little bit different. They can break up the
brain box,
right? There used to be a system, and they solved this with Uncharted, where if you needed a hint, you clicked in one of the sticks, and it gave you a hint. This one is fucking... So, boy, what's his name? I'll call him Loki, because that's what he's called. Yeah. But you're walking around with him, and I've just... Yeah, Sean's not played the first game, but whatever.
I was going to say, that's spoiler.
No, not in the new game. I'm 2018. Fucking deal with it. So, you're walking around with Loki, and he's saying... At one point, the geyser bit, where you're supposed to freeze the geysers. It's so obvious that that's what you're supposed to do. Yet as you're doing it, he's going, "Oh, you've got to freeze the geysers," and I'm like, I've got my axe up, and I'm looking at him, going, "What do you think I'm fucking doing?" Yeah. Don't sort of try and predict whether I need help. Let me do a button prompt so I can say, "What do you think?" Yeah, freeze the geysers. Freeze the geysers, good idea. Do you know what I mean? I don't need you saying freeze the geysers.
is there not any way to like switch that off or anything?
I
at all?
don't know. I haven't looked.
I
You know,
haven't looked either, but I'm going to assume not. That there's a lot of talking in this game, and
there is a lot of talk.
like that is one of the most infuriating things generally in games when you're like, oh, I've not that this is a game that requires figuring things out. Really, it's fairly obvious what you need to do, but when you're being told midway through throwing the axe, like what the.
Yeah, well, yeah, leave me alone. But it can be very linear. It can be very, the enemies that you're fighting are basic as fuck. Like, there's nothing interesting about the enemies that you're fighting. And I was concerned.
What do you mean there in terms of like combat styles, adapting on the fly?
Person with sword or person with, it feels like the people with shields, they're too annoying. I don't know. There's just nothing exciting about what I was fighting. I didn't feel like there's a character that you fight at the start of the game, right? I think we can mention who they are. They in the promotion material.
No, I don't. I mean, I didn't know because I tried to avoid the trailers, so I think we should avoid it. But there was a big fight very, very early on.
Yeah, so that felt great, right? But
Yeah,
everything else you're fighting is just like normal, like basic shit. I don't know. The story is non-existent for a good 5 hours. However, there's some really nice moments in the opening 5 hours that refer to the end of the last game, and it really nails that stuff. So you can watch a short catch-up video before you play, and that's pretty well done. It keeps it really brief, gives you a good idea of a little reminder of stuff that happened towards the end of the last game.
I would actually say that recap is too brief.
Not for me. I like it.
I would have wanted. I mean, the whole thing seemed to go in like 40 seconds. So like, give me like a 5-minute thing. Lots of things happen in that game. I know it basically says like this happened, here's the end. I was like, okay. I mean, I've watched like another on YouTube to like really like understand everyone, because it's been a while since I played the original one in 2018. But
I just liked it. I like the little nudge. Yeah, but more importantly, it reminded me of Freya and her relationship, and the opening scene with Freya is absolutely fantastic, I thought. And in fact, actually, every time Freya's on, right. We seem to have covered most of the negativity around that game. There is a lot of negativity towards the opening of this game, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, I mean, I basically the first few hours for me, it really does feel like it's just more God of War. It hasn't really progressed or moved on, but I get the impression things do change, and that does kind of takes it to another level. But so far, it's like, okay, it's another God of War. That is good because the 2018 one was amazing. I absolutely loved it. My first God of War, and I'm happy for more of the same. But very much the opening hours feel like very much more of the same. They're not a huge departure.
Well, and
I get the impression, maybe I'm wrong. I get the impression things are going to change, but I don't know.
And the narrative is quite like basic. Nothing happens really. There's a bit of infighting, a bit of arguing, a bit of drama, but nothing to hook 5 hours worth of gameplay on. A lot of the time you're not going on an adventure, or you're not going. The start of the 2018 game, the wife is dead, and the idea is that you're taking the ashes to the top of the mountain. Clear direction in what you want to do, clear setting out on this big journey. It's essentially a road trip, and then you've got all that stuff about Kratos teaching his son about the world. Whereas here it was kind of like, there's nothing really happening. We're just going to find stuff. We're like, oh, I heard a rumor about something over here. Let's go over here. And then you travel there for an hour and go, okay, it's not really told us anything. So let's go look here now. And that's another hour. And you're going, okay, but I don't know what I'm working towards. I don't know. Anyway, that's out of the way. 5 hours, 6 hours into it, suddenly things start changing, and it does change quite dramatically from a gameplay point of view. There are some decisions that they've made with the game that that I wasn't expecting, certainly. The other thing that I haven't mentioned with the first 5 hours that I think is important noting is that all of the writing and acting is absolutely superb.
Oh my god,
it really is. The voice acting is beautiful. I'd like to know this because I never really, I'm only recently getting into Marvel stuff, right? The films. Like, did Marvel kind of coin that whole very supernatural things happening, but very realistic or, relatable dialogue? Do you know what I mean? So you've
Oh,
got
yeah,
all these
David,
fantastical things
you might get some
happening.
feedback on that. I've seen some people
Go
saying
on.
like, "Oh, it's like that tweet about one person's seen the one movie, it's a Boss Baby movie, and then the next movie is like, this has got a lot of Boss Baby vibes in this." People saying, like, Marvel didn't invent this stuff; it's just that they can
No,
easily
no,
kind
that's why.
of
No,
say
no.
it's
I
one
was
thing or the other.
asking the question. Is that like where did that come from? That whole sort of like because the first time I come across it and found it really funny was in Ready Player One. Believe it or not, because there's a character in Ready Player One where everything's kicking off and he's like, "You all right? Yeah, how's it going, mate? What are you talking to me?" I mean, and I'm going, "Oh, he's talking like a normal person. That's really funny in this." Like the big, and then it's in like every Marvel film. Like it got to the point where it was like Guardians of the Galaxy is all that stuff. And then in this, there's loads of it as well. It's like suddenly they ramped up that sort of natural conversation in this game that's about 9 realms and was it Thimblewinter or whatever it's
Yeah,
called and all this
Thimblewinter,
sort
yeah.
of stuff. And then you've got characters going, "Oh, get your fucking legs off the table, mate," and all this sort of stuff. Is that where's that come from? Is that like a thing? No, no
I
one's
don't know
gonna
if it's a
chip
Marvel
in.
thing. I think that's just how, it's very easy to have those kind of characters in, today's movies and art, because you can easily kind of,
relate to them easy.
yeah,
and
relate to
stuff,
them,
I
yeah.
think, yeah.
And
Well,
it's like,
there's
them being kind of out, out of like, it just feels weird for them to be in this scenario. It's not necessarily a Marvel thing. It's just how people are doing things, really.
there's a lot of that in this game, put it that way, and that could get annoying. I think the depiction of some of the characters that come with when you hear their name, the characters, because this is all like based in Norse mythology. So you'll know the names of the gods and the big players that Matt's saying I can't say, but you get the sort of people that are in this game,
Yeah.
and the
Just on the
depictions of
voice-
them are so good. There's one in particular that is utterly incredible, and I'm really excited to see more of that character on screen for sure.
Can I just ask a question? So you're saying like the first 5 hours or so are not particularly engaging, right? Because of the way
Not
that
in a
the way it's-
gameplay sense, and not in a narrative sense. I would say, yeah.
Because do you think there's any chance that what happens in those first 5 hours could be like you would think about that differently? Is it like could it be like reframed in any way because of future events? Like with things that you're going to experience in the future that will make you look back at that differently, maybe? Or
Yes.
is that just impossible?
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I think if you look back at it, this is a 30-hour game, right? That's what everyone's quoting. And I think it's one of those that where you go, oh, if they didn't put the time into that monotony at the start, I don't think you would have had the moments between characters that then sort of flourish later on in the game. Possibly. Yeah. Whether they do that or not, I don't know. But what I will say is that the further into the game that I'm starting to see some tricks now. Visually, as I said, I was not blown away up until I don't know if you've met. How do I put this? Have you met?
Well, shall I say where I am?
Yeah.
I'm chasing after someone. I'm in the mines. You're not there.
Oh, hold on. Oh, wait. Have you done the puzzles where you have to throw your axe at something?
I've done loads of them, yeah.
Oh my god, they're terrible, aren't they? I'm sitting here going, why am I playing God of War doing this? Why am I doing this in a God of War game?
But I did them in the previous game, and they were fine. It's just more of the same, really. But
this
just go back on the performance aspect. Yeah, like Brock and Sindri were in the previous game.
Yes.
They were basically, they're the people you go to like, upgrade your weapons and stuff, and they're in this, and they're just as amazing as they were. They're absolute like scene stealers for me. Like they're just so, again, like the dialogue, the animation, how you want to talk to them, you want to understand more about who they are and what they're about. I love Brock and Sindri, but I think the way audio works is really elegant. I think in so many occasions, there's loads of bits where you go on a boat, and when you're in a boat, there'll be like stories between yourself and whoever else is in the boat. And there were a bunch of like docks you would go to get out of the boat and explore the local area. And like Mimir, who's a character in the previous game, he'll start telling you often stories or this, that, and the other. And rather than him, it may be in other games, he would start talking, and then you'll hit the button prompt to get to the dock, and it will just like, end instantly. Here, like as you're getting towards it, he'll say, "Actually, no, let's park that story now. We'll come
But
back to that another time."
this has been done on games before.
Well, yeah,
This
it
is
probably
like a
has, but I
Sony
just
thing.
think it just seems so elegant, like the way I was like, "Okay, I'm just like gone to the dock," and it didn't cart. It just like said, "Oh no, we'll come back to that a minute ago," or in a minute. It was just I thought that was really nice, like a nice
They
little
do
touch,
that in
maybe something like-
FIFA. Sorry, I interrupted you there, Alex Scott. We'll come back to what's going on. What's going
Yeah,
on
they do
in
a lot of things in FIFA though.
Stockport. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. Later on, so there's a bit you're coming up to, Matt, where you meet another character, right? And I'm talking around the
I
issue.
met that character.
But right, okay, so this character, and this is not really a spoiler. This character fights with magic, and they fight using the sort of paint dust that you get in color runs, right? Have you noticed that yet, Matt?
No, in
No,
color.
the color run where you chuck in like paint dust at each other, basically paint powder.
Oh yeah, as in the thing in real life, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this character fights essentially with that stuff.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first time in this game where I went, okay, this is ridiculously good looking. This is ridiculous. There were times where I was looking at the aftermath of a fight and going, holy shit, that is mixing with water there. Like, this is
Cool.
utterly incredible. Like, the whole fight looks amazing because there's dust particles everywhere, multiple different colours. It looks absolutely stunning. And that's when I go, okay, it feels like this is the moment that the reviews are talking about, because there were several moments in my first 5 hours where I was going, oh, is this the bit that they're talking about where it all changes and gets better? No, not really. It still feels pretty similar. Maybe it's this bit. When I got to that, I was like, no, this is the bit where it starts to take off. The narrative gets way more interesting. So something happens in that level that makes you go, oh my God, that changes everything. I'm really excited to see what happens. And then, and as I said, everything visually in that area is absolutely stunning. So it's funny. As I said, I've put 9 hours into this, and for me, in 1 week, that's quite a lot for a single player game. And although I spent the majority of that time worrying, like being a little bit concerned, I was still ploughing through it because it's such a nice game to play. You know, it's one of those where you can't really just, like, you go, I'll just play another quarter of an hour, and then you're like, I'll just get to the end of this quest. Okay, let me just go over here and see. Oh, well, now I can upgrade this.
Would you
just go and do
say
that.
it's a good game that you can stick on and just not have to think about it, Dave?
I would say it's a good game that you
Bit
stick
like,
on and not have to think about it, Sean.
Just checking.
Yeah, I suppose to some extent. I mean, I don't know. What are you doing difficulty-wise, Matt?
I just stuck on the balanced one. I didn't.
Yeah, so that's what I had at the start, and then I knocked it down because it was just taking too long to kill normal enemies. So I was like, I don't want to kill. It just feels like I'm just getting bored of killing normal enemies now. So I knocked it down one, and haven't regretted it. I don't think.
Yeah, but
there are
it's all
times
about
where I'm like,
how-
I'm screaming through this bit too quickly, but
Yeah, but it's all about how how you use the other character, kind of to shoot the arrows, to stun the weapon, stun the enemy, go in there with the R3. Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying how the way again, like you did it in the previous game, but the way the combat works between yourself and
yeah. Well, I'm sort of at a point now where I'm just thinking, okay, it's not about the game opening up, because the previous game wasn't about the game opening up. What I did with the previous game was got to the end and then went and did some side stuff afterwards. So I'm not looking for an open world experience. I'm looking to get to the end of this game. And it doesn't feel like, because that always concerns me, the game gets so much better when it opens up. For me, that's not always what I want out of a game. What I want is for the narrative to pick up, or what I want is for a character to latch onto, or the gameplay to improve. I feel that it's doing the stuff that I was looking at the first 5 hours and go, okay, I think it's actually bringing that stuff into play now. So I'm really excited to get more done.
When it did open up, did you do any of the side quests when you go into the area where you're in the huge area where you go to the various docks and stuff?
So let's talk about that. So there's a bit where you're in a boat and one of the characters goes, well, you can either go to the next mission or we can go over there and do this.
Yeah.
And I spoke to John about it today, and he said, "Oh, did you do the chimneys?" It was
Yeah,
stuff
I did
to do
that.
with chimneys, and I said I did one of them because I didn't realise you were supposed to do them all. Then I thought that was the game going. You will come across many chimneys on your journey. If you do
Oh,
this to the
right. No,
chimneys,
no.
you will
Yeah.
get unlocked. So I thought, oh right, okay, I'll keep my eye out for chimneys. No, there was like 5 or 6 of them all in one area, and I was
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah, it's just
clean them
3 of
all
them
out.
there. Yeah.
Oh, 3 of them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
only did one of them and then walked off.
Yeah,
Just
because
went
he's
back
like,
on
we
the
can
boat.
talk to the person there and basically move things on, or do you want to do this? And I did that, and then that took me way longer and is way more complex, but in a good way than I thought it would be. And then some other like side mission opens up because I got something from one of the areas where the chimneys were, and then that did like an awesome thing. Which, but if you haven't done it, we won't talk about it. But yeah, even the side missions, I again didn't anticipate playing much, but the ones I did, like one linked onto the other one, and it's so compelling. I wanted to do that one and did that. So I did chimneys and one other big one you do in that area, and then went
Yeah.
over and kind of progressed the story forward. But I've heard really good things about the side missions. So, but if they're
Yeah.
as good as the ones I've done so far and they're compelling enough, like even so again. There's kind of islands you go on, and it's like, how do I even get there? How do I open this? How do I, I had to raise this thing to explore another side of the island to open something else. So it was way more complex than just going there, killing the people, moving on. And that's just the first one I came across.
So when the game opens up and it becomes more of an open world, but not like super open, right?
It's not.
So it's not like the case with Horizon Forbidden West where it's like opens
No,
up
you
and
played the
you're just
last
like-
one, right? You played
Yeah,
the
I
last
did.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's kind of like, oh, these places are really segregated out from everything else. They feel like tiny hubs rather than they do. There will be an entrance to an area and an exit to that area, rather than, hey, I can go in any direction and any place around here.
Yeah,
That is
it's
a good
basically
thing.
linear. It opens up, couple of side missions, next linear area, next
Yeah.
story bit,
Yeah, for
opens
sure.
up. Yeah.
I much prefer that because it's like
I do prefer that, but I think traversal is hampered by it. That's why I didn't do too much of the side stuff in the last God of War game, because it was like, okay, how do I get to that mission now? I've got to go to this area and then that bit and then through here and then to that bit. It's not just, oh, I just go off in that direction and I'll come across it. It felt a little bit like, how do I get there again? It also, oh fuck, I can't talk about that. The compass stuff. How in some you get a compass
We can talk
early
about
on
the
about.
you get a compass. in
No,
the
I
game.
can't,
think that's
Matt.
a huge-
I can't.
No, it's cool.
No, because it gives you a compass, and for story reasons, you don't have the compass. And I just thought, so the compass is the thing at the top of the screen that points you in the right direction and where to go. But in certain areas or certain situations, you don't have that compass. And you go, I get why I don't have the compass, but just give me the fucking compass, because I don't know where to go now, you fuck. Like, why have you taken that away from me here? Just come up with a shit reason why they've... Anyway, that was a bit frustrating.
We need to probably talk about the 17,000 upgrades you can do.
Yeah, I
thought
mean,
that had been simplified. I read
no,
that
it's
No
not.
way.
Fucking
Massively
hell.
not.
No?
There
I
was a
don't
lot
understand
previously.
it. Do you understand it yet?
I mean, there are so many upgrades.
You can say
and
no.
so many... Well,
It's
I mean, I understand it as much when some kind of menu flashes, I go and click
Yep.
it when the numbers get bigger. But there are
Yeah.
there are basically, that you can upgrade like your chest armor, wrist, or waist armor, and
Something
then
like that.
they all have various kind of things you can upgrade, and various so like chest pieces, and upgrade those chest pieces to, I don't know, levels 1 to 5, whatever. Then you can upgrade kind of your axe and the axe and like the handle of the axe and the chains and
Yep.
the handle of the chains.
Yep.
And then you put like amulets, or basically just kind of like material in Final Fantasy. We can put like gems into your weapons that you can upgrade. You can put like a bunch of them in there. There's like light runic
Special moves.
So what's that?
Or special moves. There are various different special moves
Yeah.
that you can have, and you can upgrade each one of those individually as well. It's too much.
You can
Straps on your
you
belt,
get like a rage
you know.
move if you click L3 and R3. You can upgrade that as well. You get like light runics, the heavy runics. There are so many things to upgrade. Not just that. Is that you get all these things, and it's like, well, no, that's going to need 2 flobble doubles. And I was like, I haven't got them, and I was like, okay, I've got something else now that's better, but that actually requires 16 flibble somethings. And I was like, oh man, have
Should
I
I
got them?
should I upgrade my level 1 armor or just put on the level 2 armor. I
Yeah.
don't know what the game wants me to do here.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
The menus, there's a lot, but basically there's like an exclamation mark where you can upgrade, and I say the numbers are bigger there, I'll just move there. There are things like, do you want to upgrade your vitality, or which is life, or defense, or your power, or something else? I'm just like, I haven't really got a build. I'm not going in a direction. I'm saying those numbers are bigger, I'll upgrade that. But there is so much and so many different upgrade materials that I'm not really worrying about, I need 2 of them or 1 of them. I'm just collecting everything I can. It's often a very linear path until we get to the open areas, and on the linear path there are bits where you can go left there, or if you go right there'll probably be a chest. I'm doing them, I'm collecting everything I can, but there's just so much. I haven't really kind of got my head around what I need to be doing, or like I said, a build direction. I'm just upgrading everything I can, but there's just so bloody much. And then there's also like skill trees for yourself, and I think,
I forgot all about them. I've not looked at it. I've
Yeah.
probably got about 18 upgrades
there's
waiting
skill
for me.
trees, and I think you can upgrade the things on skill trees to
Yeah.
multiple levels. There's an awful lot. I know this happened quite a lot in 2018's God of War, and it's very much an RPG, so it's not offensive to me. But man, it's just there's a lot.
Yeah, no, and I'll get it. Yeah, I'll get it eventually. It was the same with the last God of War. I got about 2/3 of the way through, and I was like, oh, I know what to do now. I'll just do all that. Whereas, I'm not there with that yet.
Yeah,
but...
and like during battle, you can hold like 1 or like 5 buttons and press another face button to do some other crazy move. There's an awful lot. But
have you switched the X and circle button?
Yeah. So X was jump, and then no. So
X was action. X is dodge.
Yeah. And then circle was jump, and I switched them to make it feel more Elden Ring like, and it feels way better now pressing circle to dodge or jump or whatever.
I switched it and then had to switch it back because my brain just went weird with it, so I had to switch it back to X is evade and circle is action.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I guess having come off relatively recently Elden Ring, it just felt okay. This feels way nicer. So
yeah.
No, I
Look,
think combat. I know you said it doesn't do an awful lot new, and maybe I'm expecting that may change, but combat always felt amazing previously, and it still feels
it
amazing.
felt alright. I wouldn't say it was anything.
I think it feels so meaty, so kind of it just feels like a really solid combat model, and it's more the same. If it it may change whatever, but it's just still fun as hell just to smash enemies into bits, and it's doing that again.
And it does that. I mean, it's very much a Sony game, right? And you can see the Sony DNA through it. So you can see stuff that's from Uncharted. You can see stuff that's from Horizon. You can see, various different
Last of Us.
Sony big time.
The funniest thing from Last of Us I see, and it's probably almost in other games, like where these characters
clickers
run, they're clickers, yeah. And Ellie's like, no, it's where the person you're controlling runs as fast backwards as they do forwards. I don't know about you, but constantly, I'll go to like an area, I was a dead end, and I'm constantly going to, like I'm on ice skates or something, constantly going backwards, spinning around. It's like, man,
I don't like how zoomed in the camera is in this game. Like, it really, that annoys me a little bit.
I've got an issue with it. It's obviously trying to be more visceral, isn't it? I'll bring you right into the action.
It's not something I've looked at, James.
Is there anything from Days Gone in the game?
There's what I'm saying is that you can see that a lot of the stuff that they learned in other games is taken across. I think it's one of those games where the dialogue is never ending. Everyone's talking. A lot of what they're saying is beneficial to how you play in the game. Warning you if enemies attacking from the left or right or whatever. But yeah, it's frustrating talking about this game after 9 hours because it feels like I've seen a glimpse of the game improving in a big way. But that kind of writes off the 6 or 7 hours of opinions that I had about it. It doesn't because that's legitimate. People are going to go into this and go 6 and 7 hours, and you think it's crap, and you've seen like an hour.
You don't
and
think
gone,
it's crap, do you?
Not crap, but I was like, no, not crap, but I wasn't impressed. I wasn't sitting there going, wow, this is great. Whereas, after 6 or 7 hours, after like a game like this that I've been looking forward to all year.
Yeah, I mean, but
I was surprised at how
great because it's more God of War. Yes, it wasn't like, hey, this is the next level. This is
But I don't know what you mean by that. It's more God of War. That's not. What is
God of War
that? What do you
2018
mean?
was fantastic, so I was like, okay, more of that.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
was.
like,
It
this
was,
is the
but it
next
still had
generation.
lulls in the. It still had lulls in the narrative. It still had some not so good bits, and it felt like this was some of the not so good bits of that game. It's
I don't
certainly
know.
the opening
For me,
few
I was like, I'm
hours.
back in that world, back in the combat. It's for me, I didn't have any negative points. Yes, it didn't feel like it's massively progressed, but I'm expecting that to change somehow. But no, I
I'm
wouldn't
surprised.
say crap. I wouldn't say disappointing. It's more the same. For many people is disappointing. I get that, but I was
But that's what I'm
loving it
saying.
back in the
So,
world.
but the difference between the opening of this game and the last game is that the last game had really good, exciting. Like I felt like I was going on an adventure. I felt like I was doing something. First 5 hours of this, I'm going. I'm not. It don't feel like I'm working towards anything. It feels like there's not really a story here. I'm finding,
I agree with you there. Yeah, for sure.
and it was just kind of like there was nothing to really sort of grip me. But I've seen a glimmer of something, and as I said, it's frustrating talking about the game at length this week because I wanted to come in and have a deep dive into the game, but I haven't really been able to do that. I don't trust my early opinions yet.
Yeah, I think
so
next week, after another week
we'll
of
see next
playing,
week.
we should have a. Yeah, because I don't know what's happened, but all I just got the general vibe is that things change enough for people to say, "Oh, here we go." So I began that could be anything, but that's maybe next week we'll be in that place. But yeah, I'm just
Fingers
just
crossed.
loving the fact we get to, have these exceptional experiences. I'm not really playing anywhere elsewhere, personally.
James,
Mm-hmm.
was it worth skipping this for Sonic Frontiers?
Well, I mean, as I said, I played 5 to 6 hours of that, and so I think I can give more of an opinion now on it because I've just
Can I tell you the 20 minutes that I played this week?
gone.
You know the boss in the opening area that slams its arms down,
Yeah.
and the blue and the red rings trickle down its arms,
Yes.
and you've got to hit the blue rings to climb up high, and the red rings push you back.
Yeah.
That sums up what I think about the game so far. In that I looked at it and went, "This is incredible! What an exciting thing to do, and what a great idea that you've got these panels that you have to aim for as Sonic running up really quickly so you could attack this boss. This is a great idea." And then when you hit one of the red blocks, but when you hit one of the red rings, and the game sort of just glitches out.
Yeah, the
You're
camera
like,
goes all over the place, and it's like,
yeah,
where am
kind
I?
of like, oh my god, this isn't finished at all, is it?
Yeah.
This
And
game
that-
is not sturdy.
And that's the main thing because it's clearly unfinished. This game, clearly, really unfinished.
yeah.
I mean, I heard that in the news. Yeah, it's a global beta test, isn't it, or play test?
Yeah, and it's like some bits of it aren't great. Like specifically, like the legacy levels are completely pointless. I don't know why they felt the need to put
when
those.
you say
in.
legacy levels, are
The
they like
Cyber Zone
specifically
ones.
2D ones, or are they like just what are
No.
they exactly?
They're a mixture of 2D ones, which are like sort of
Oh, right.
side on. Like sometimes they have like ones which are like Green Hill Zone or whatever, and it's like obviously like looks really nice and all that kind of thing. But it's basically you just go from left to right, pick up like 5 special red rings, and then try and get through to the end as quickly as possible. And then there's also other ones which are more like the Sonic, like the 3D ones, like Sonic Adventure and stuff, where it's like you're like running into the screen or whatever, and then like having to dodge stuff and like jump between things and stuff like that. And it's one of those things where it's like I understand why they put these in here, but it's really jarring because none of them that I've played so far have actually been fun. Like none of them are really like very enjoyable. And the thing about the game that is enjoyable is exploring the islands and like just going around, finding new stuff, unlocking because what happens is when you go to a new like part, you'll then find there's usually a puzzle which then opens like a waypoint, which then reveals the map. Like you get like an overview of the map, and so when you go into the island, the first thing I've been doing is just going around trying to find as many of those as possible, just to try and unlock the whole map. And then I did that on the second island as well, and it's great. It's really fun doing that because each one has like a little puzzle attached to it, and they're really simple. And they're just things like there's like a block puzzle on the ground, and you have to like make sure that you color everything in the right colors, or there's like another one where you just have to like get through like an area like as quickly as possible and stuff like that. But and you don't have to think about it at all. None of them are particularly difficult, but you do just get a sense of satisfaction from the fact that it's like, it's opening the map up a bit, and then also it will then add like the all the rails and stuff that it like as soon as you've unlocked that like one of those waypoints, it then adds rails to the level, so then you can get around more quickly as well, which is which is pretty good. So all of that stuff is really fun. Actually, it's not complicated, it's not anything really special, but the way that Sonic moves feels good, and that's the main thing that they've nailed with this, which they haven't with any other 3D Sonic game I've ever played. Where this is one which actually feels nice to control Sonic generally, although there are still problems because there's still issues with platforming in sections of this.
Oh god, yeah, totally. You can totally overshoot your platforms, and then it's hilarious when he falls off a cliff and it doesn't, fall off a cliff. It's like they've got no physics involved with Sonic hitting things in the environment, so he sort of just glitches his way down the cliff, and then it says game over.
And you still also get that thing where, like, if you're like running really fast somewhere and then suddenly you're like hit something and then you're just like brought to a stop like suddenly, and you're just like,
oh great, this is satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, that feels not so great. But you see, it's just those, as I said, those extra levels though, the ones where you sort of go into these, like the reason you have to go into them is you obviously have to go in there to get like these keys, which then unlock other areas, and so you have to get like a certain score in the in these legacy levels as well, otherwise you can't really progress. So you can't even just ignore them, you have to do them.
Are the legacy levels the equivalent of like a shrine, or are they the equivalent of a dungeon?
There's just not as many of them.
No, there's only about 6 or 7 like per island, it seems, and they take no time at all. Like you're looking at like 2 minutes,
like a minute.
It's like it doesn't really take very long.
So that's like the old style levels, and they're just mini things. But other than
sort of, as James said last week, they feel more like Sonic Rush levels or whatever it's called, right? Where it's like there's several situations where you're on rails and you're literally hopping from rail to avoid things. Yeah, feels like Temple Run at times.
You look at it and you're just like, I don't know what this is for. Like I don't know why. And it's such a weird tonal shift as well.
Well, I was going to say, because that's obviously I've not played the full game, but from what I've seen of those bits, they look way more Sonic than the main sort of overworld.
God, yeah.
And it's just so strange that they've compartmentalized the Sonic-looking bits and made this dreary overworld.
Yeah,
but
the dreary overworld is like, I love that. I love it.
No, I know, but you love it being dreary, you mean, or?
Oh, 100%. Like when you saw, as I said, when I saw that robot thing with a big arm slamming down and you had to run up, I was like, I get this. I get the vision. I get what they're going for. This is very exciting. The fact that it was glitchy as fuck and, and then, as I said, they bottled it. They bottled it. So we've got to have these Sonic levels in there.
And I have revised my opinion on this slightly because later on, like some of the bosses that there are, like some of those designs are actually pretty good. Like there's some pretty good designs that do thematically work, like within that, within the environment. But saying that, I remember I was reading on Ragnarok, I think it was, somebody was saying, like, if you look at, like, particularly like the Green Hill stuff that's in, like, the legacy levels, imagine an open world of that. Like, it would look amazing. Yeah, that would look incredible, like, if they did something like that. But I don't know. I don't know why they went with this style, but it still kind of works. But I mean, there are other aspects of this which are really, really like not great. The story is appalling, and what I mean by that is like obviously Sonic games are never that great, for that kind of stuff. But it's the fact that you got all these like constantly like so many cutscenes, which I've just ended up. I'm just skipping them.
I was going to say, can you just skip them?
You can just skip them.
You won't get the benefit of the shocking ending, I imagine.
It's true,
if
you won't get the
lore.
You won't see if Sonic has a weird romance with a human woman.
Yeah.
Just assume that he does.
Just make it up and then write about it on the
just
internet.
wreck the game from this point on. Like, if you've been skipping cutscenes, like even if it's a shit game, like surely it's more beneficial to at least understand where you are.
No, it doesn't make any difference.
In a game like this.
And that's the thing, because if you look at something like Mario Odyssey, right, they're so good at storytelling, Nintendo, with that sort of stuff, where it's real.
It's barely a story.
Exactly, but they don't. That's the thing. You don't need it for this. Like, you really don't need it. You don't need to give like a massive motivation for what Sonic's doing in this game. There's no need at all, and it's such a distraction because I'm at a point now I'm in the second island where I have to keep going. Like it just keeps on saying, "Go and talk to Knuckles." And so I went and then talked to him, and then it's like, "Go and talk to Knuckles." Like again, and then you have to like just travel from one area of the map to another. And then I did that, and then again it just went, "Go and talk to Knuckles," and it was just it was like on another part.
Do you
of
know
the
who
island.
Knuckles was though? Were you talking to the wrong character?
Yeah.
No,
Talking
it's
to
definitely
Amy.
the right one. It's like
Big
it's,
the
Right.
cat.
no, so because it gives you a waypoint, so you just have to keep going. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And also this really terrible dialogue, and you
I
just
still love Nathan Drake Sonic. I
Yeah.
mean, it's hey guys, I'm in a field now. I'm serious. It's like,
it's still better than like Teenage Sonic, which is the worst thing, like the worst thing ever. It's really terrible. But this is
yeah.
the thing, and so the story stuff is really awful. The pop up in the game is outrageous.
Why are you playing this over God of War?
No. It's like the pop up in the game is honestly
And you're
completely
playing on
outrageous.
PS5, aren't you, James?
Yeah, I'm playing on PS5, and it's like honestly,
Oh, no,
things
no.
are appearing in front of you, like when they're hardly any distance, like really
Yeah,
hardly
yeah.
any distance.
I've
from
seen
you.
that,
It's
yeah.
incredible.
James,
And is that when
on
you're
last week's
going
show?
super fast, or is that when you're just walking around?
Yeah,
No, it's when you're walking.
Just doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. Stuff
yeah.
just appears. It's
gotta
incredible.
walk fast. On last
Yeah.
week's show, David mentioned about switching to graphics mode, and you said you were going to do that. Did it
I
make
did that.
Did that make a big difference? Or
It made it smoother. It certainly made it smoother to play, and it feels nicer.
Yeah, it's also
to
frame
move
rate
around.
out. Jesus, the frame rate and the
Yeah,
Well, have you heard
in
about
the upper version.
Have you heard about it on the Series S?
no.
So there's, I can't. I think there might be a performance
shit,
mode
Sean?
toggle that apparently doesn't do anything, and then apparently Sega recommended. Apparently Sega recommended just forcing your Xbox into 1080p instead of 4K, and then everyone said, "No, it doesn't do anything either. It's still 30 frames. It's apparently supposed to be 60 frames." So
And
they're
Sega
looking
then
into it.
suggested getting a Series X
Yeah,
instead.
yeah,
Boffin's in the lab.
Just buy a next gen console. You know, it's just...
Already have, mate.
stop
Thanks.
kidding
Already
yourself.
You got the wrong one, Sean.
No, I didn't.
Go on.
But overall, as I said, it's like I am enjoying playing it though, like just exploring and doing the puzzles and stuff. It's just all right. It's absolutely fine. But
So, James,
you're
what-
completely right though. Playing this over God of War makes no sense whatsoever.
So then why are you
it's
doing it?
ridiculous.
Especially knowing that you're doing a podcast about video games and we're about to talk about the biggest release of the year.
This
You
is
have
a big
to admit
release.
that's-
This is a big release.
To a few very strange
to a
people
lot,
on the
a lot
internet.
of people. Sonic has sold a lot of games, like over the years.
Sonic
Not
has sold a
personally.
lot of games. Has
Because
he
of
what, in
you.
a car park in Asda?
Yeah, he's sold a lot more games than God of War has. Yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
or
Come on.
Kratos.
Been on-
That
been
doesn't make
around
any
for a long time.
sense. Yeah.
So James, but yeah,
Kratos.
so you've got the open world, you've got the small legacy levels. Aren't there like where's like the main chunk of the game? Is the main chunk of the game the open? Like it feels like to me, okay, open world. You got smaller ones like shrines. Are they not like the dungeon equivalent? So you spend more time in. Like where are you supposed to spend most of your time in this game?
But that's what we mean. This game feels really unfinished because it just feels like a collection of things that they just dumped onto the map and then you just do them. But there isn't anything like that really. Like they have there are bosses. Like there are like these larger things that you have to defeat and stuff. But it's only like at the end of levels or, like at the end of the thing. And the other thing that really pissed me off with this, there's one simple thing they could do to make those legacy levels much better. Why didn't they have like the, like when you complete a level in like Sonic 2 or Sonic 3, it does that really satisfying like musical sting. Yeah.
And he's spinning the thing really quick, and he's like,
Why exactly? Why didn't they add that to the end of like completing a level?
yeah, that's the fucking problem, isn't it?
No, it was
Yeah,
that would have
that
made
is
a
the
big
problem.
difference.
That's the problem,
It would have made a
James.
big difference. It'd pump,
That's the
get you
problem. It
pumped
didn't have
up on
that fucking
everything,
noise at the end of
"Patch
the
it
pile
in,
of shit level.
patch it in."
Yeah, you're right.
It's not
That's
terrible.
what's wrong with the game.
It's not terrible,
James-
yeah.
How much have you played? How many hours have you put into this game? Sorry, 7 hours.
Yeah, about 6-7 hours. Yeah,
But it's like a 20-odd hour game, isn't it?
apparently, yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm only on the
He's
second island.
going to play this again all week this week.
He's going to
I
rinse
guarantee he
Yeah, I'm
doesn't
thinking
touch
that,
it.
yeah.
100%.
But he's not
I'm
going to play
going
God of War
to
this
100%
week.
it. Yeah, 100%.
He's you joke, but you won't have played God of War this week. And if you had, it would have been for about an hour.
No, he's like,
I'm telling
lads,
you.
I put 25 hours into Sonic, and I'm almost done.
Oh God. Okay, is that it for Sonic? Probably,
Yeah, that
right?
is it. I mean, the
Um,
only thing I played Splatoon 3, but that's.
Oh, did you do Splatfest?
I did the Splatfest, yeah, and it's. I mean, it was. You heard it. You heard.
Do you want to get a bit closer to the mic, James?
Not really. I mean, doesn't matter, does it?
Honestly, what do you
Doesn't
even give a
give a
shit about this
fuck, does
podcast
he?
anymore? Do you not? I'm not going to play the big release this week because I'm playing Sonic. I don't give a shit about how close I am to my microphone. What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah. So this week I'm going to Sonic.
Oh yeah, Matt, go on.
I was just leaning back. I was just leaning back for a second, all right?
Yeah,
There's
well,
nothing wrong with
don't.
that.
He's really given up, hasn't he?
Yes.
He's like
That's
that bloke at work. What is it? That phrase that you say, Sean?
Not quite quitting.
Don't shit on their time or whatever.
Oh, don't
Don't
sweat on
shit
their
on your
time.
time.
Don't shit on yours. Yeah.
yeah. That's James Farley.
Yeah, so anyway, they had the Splatfest. The results were out today, and it seems that, I mean, ridiculously, Water won.
It did.
It was
which is not what either of us wanted.
What was it between?
It was
Fire,
like,
water,
it was
and
grass,
grass,
fire,
yeah.
and water.
Grass.
Yeah. And
Team
Water
grass.
took it. Yeah, which was.
Well, we've still got our asses kicked. So I don't know why I'm saying
yeah.
it like that. Well, because it was an absolute landslide as well, wasn't it? They won the
It
vote.
was,
They
yeah,
won
it was
all the different modes. Team Water
Destroyed
absolutely
everything.
smashed it. So
Embarrassing.
very,
I love it. I'd love it if it come out that it was all just made up. That it didn't take any notice about how many people had signed up. There was no tracking of who won the games.
Well, this, yeah. 'Cause
And it
who's
just says
ever
that.
going to scrutinise it?
Exactly.
exactly.
They will definitely be a part of that.
Yeah.
How many games
Absolutely.
did you win? Well, I won loads, and I'm on fire. Right. Well, fake then.
So you're saying we need independent verification here of like this?
Yeah. Need an official
Honestly,
body
I
setting up.
think. Yeah, I think there's some bullshit going on. To be
Maybe, but
quite-
it was still good. I enjoyed it. I mean, I had disconnections though throughout.
Did you?
Like, it kept
I've-
on kicking me off all the time. which
And
was
I
annoying.
found it was all right, and I was actually regularly getting the tricolour battles this time as well, which has been a struggle in the previous ones. But it was a bit of a rubbish theme for Splatfest, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It
Let's
was.
face it.
And what made you want to play? Just because you wanted to play it and
Just-
it was an excuse to play
Yeah,
Splatfest?
just
It
felt
was-
like going back to it.
It's a nice excuse to go back, and also Isaac was really poorly on Saturday. And I was like, "Hey, do you want to watch me play Splatoon? Because it's Splatfest." And he was like, "All right." So I was like,
yes.
"Cool, I'll put it on."
You said.
So, yeah, so it sounded vaguely like a yes. So yeah, let's go. But yeah.
Before we move on to yours, Sean, I feel that I should quickly give you a Minty Biscuit update because there's been a lot of drama within the Pro Clubs Football Club this week. A lot of drama. One of our star strikers, Chris from Dist, he because he always shoots from Dist, he was quite furious with the update that I gave last week, saying that I've been nothing but supportive to you. I don't know why he says that sort of stuff because
It was
he
absolutely
isn't.
livid,
He's
wasn't he?
really mean. Also, we had a situation where all week he was messaging the group saying, "Are we playing tonight? Are we playing tonight?" And everyone's going, "No, God of War's out. We're on international break. We're not playing." Then he was away on Friday night, and we all decided to play. The abuse we got in the chat was, I mean, absolutely next level.
Not
He
a happy
demanded
bunny.
he wanted to leave the team. He didn't want to play with us anymore. He went absolutely ballistic. And then last night he said, "Well, we playing again? Are we?" And everyone went, "No, it's international break." And he went absolutely nuts again. But
Yeah, he's like,
you'd be happy.
surely you finished God of War by now. So it's been out 5
That's
days.
right, yeah. But you'd be happy to know that things are going very well. We earned promotion again, I think. Did we earn promotion last night? Yeah, we're back in Div 6. We started really well in Div 6. Shrek has scored his first goal, Matt, from a
Oh,
corner.
really? Congrats.
Yeah. Oh, mate, we
He
were so
deserves that. He
happy.
deserves that.
Par J as well scored their first goal as well. We're very, very happy with that. Esbab... This is totally true. They started selling wacky wigs in the multicolored afro wigs in the Volta store, and it works in Pro Clubs. So my character Esbab bought one, and the excuse was that he was always like, it was the day after a stag do and he'd forgotten to take it off when he come onto the pitch. So he was running around for a good few games with a multicoloured afro on. But he's taken that off now and he's back to normal. He's back to his normal self, eating pork chops before every game. Good old Asbab. He's going to have a heart attack on the pitch, 100%. Are we... That's the update for Pro Clubs Div 6, the Minty Biscuit roll on. The biscuit tin that has never been more likely, and the biscuit boys that come to support them are in full voice. Love that, love that. Sean, what have you been playing?
Hello. I mean, I've been playing shitloads of Marvel Snap, but let's just skip that.
Yeah, I did the classic thing that you can probably guess. Loving Marvel Snap. Absolutely, what a game. Bought season pass, haven't played it since.
Oh.
But I don't know. I do all the time. But, but it's still worth it because I had, many great hours.
That used to be the thing with you, wasn't it? The digital version.
Oh,
you
God,
would buy
yeah,
the digital. If you ever bought the digital version, you would never play that game.
Yeah, is. I was like, I love Battlefield 3. Of course I get a Battlefield 4 digital version. No, of course not.
Never mind.
So, anyway.
So yeah, literally the only, I'd say, Isaac was like pretty ill over the weekend, so I've not had loads of time. However, I finally started the Citizen Sleeper DLC. So there's 3 episodes of it planned. One came out a few months ago, and then the second one came out recently. They're all free. And I initially said, oh, I'll wait till all 3 are out, and then I can like binge it in one go. As it turns out, they seem really substantial. I thought they were going to be like little side stories that were, done and dusted pretty quickly. But I'm still in the first episode, and it's still it's very interesting the way it's developing. Basically, it's all around. For those who don't remember, this is the sort of quite text heavy, but it's like an RPG where you're living on this space station and you are a sleeper, which is essentially this sort of corporate owned body that you've escaped with, essentially, right? So yeah, lots of interesting questions about sentience and personhood and like just full of like brilliant, interesting characters. These DLC chapters is focused specifically on basically this flotilla of refugees have arrived at the space station that you're living on, and the management of the station, like, because it, any space station, it's like a closed ecosystem effectively, right? So people can come and go, but they're like, basically this flotilla arrives and the management has gone, no, we can't risk like all these refugees coming in at once. Like, it could completely destabilize the whole thing. It could shut the station down. We can't risk it. So they've set up like a blockade. But you meet up with like these 2 people who made it through, and they're like, fuck this, we're gathering supplies. I'm going to do a run to the flotilla. And so, you start out helping them. But then you meet someone so you're doing all this on the sly. You're like siphoning water, gathering food, scrap, stuff like that, and then figuring out how the ship is going to get through this blockade back to the flotilla. And then the twist is you meet someone from management who's like, look, I'm on your side. I know what you're doing. I'm not going to report you or anything, but can you please not do this? Because the argument we are currently having is that basically there are right-wing shitheads on the management board who want to just ignore the flotilla and make it go away. We're arguing against them, but if you do this and you break through and steal stuff, then that like solidifies their case that this flotilla is bad and we should not be engaging with it.
Wow, what an incredible story to tell.
It's really fucking interesting. Obviously, I won't say what happens beyond that because it's spoiler territory. But just, once again, this is what the game has been good at throughout. Telling a science fiction story that is obviously very relevant and presenting a genuinely interesting moral dilemma for you to grapple with, and again with loads of interesting likable characters. So I'm loving it. It's a weird pace initially. Like, it does warn you before you start the DLC stuff that it's like, this is intended as like an end game thing. So obviously I'm playing it with my save that's like ready to finish the game. So I've got like tons of money and stuff. Like, resources aren't really an issue for me anymore. And it's like, right, you've got like 12 days to get this, as much ready as you can for this ship that's going to do this supply run, or is it? ? And it was a struggle. I didn't do anywhere near all of it. So you're kind of picking and choosing what to prioritize, and it felt really tense to begin with because you're constantly against the clock. You're properly trying to maximize your use of your actions every day. But then it looks like it sort of slows down after that and gives itself some time to breathe. But that's the point I'm at now. So I'm really interested to play more of it.
All the episodes are around this one flotilla story?
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Cool.
I think there's sort of they're distinct phases of it, but yeah, it's so you'll remember obviously the way the station sort of ends in the bit that's all sort of broken and it's all so basically it's all there and sort of a bit further beyond.
Awesome.
That's where the flotilla is.
Because some of my favorite stories were at the bit at the end because that's where you had met I can't remember the characters now, but the area where they were growing plants and doing that kind of stuff, and I love some of the stories there were beautiful. Does it also do a thing where does it not make you go around the whole space station to do various stories and one affects the other, or is it very kind of self-contained with a small group?
So far, yeah, it's been self-contained, yeah, which I think probably makes sense. As I say, it's very open about basically do this last, which makes sense given that it's not a long game, so obviously most people will have played most of it by now.
Because some of my favorite parts of the main game was the fact, I'd be kind of spinning plates, having one story come here, trying to activate or bring on another story or increase it. But I guess it makes sense from a DLC point of view to have it contained in one area.
Yeah, and like I say, that first section of it is so intense that you would not be able to get anything else done anyway.
Okay.
So it's designed for this to be your focus once you've started it, basically.
It says you should basically, in terms of story-wise, it doesn't follow or reference anything in the main game because it anticipates you've done it already, or
yeah, I mean it's still because if you remember the history of the station is it's all about that there was this corporation that collapsed, and so the reason the station's half fucked and stuff is because it's still recovering from that, and basically the idea is that your station wasn't the only station that happened to, and that's why there's still fallout throughout the galaxy effectively from this one corporation collapsing, and that's why this flotilla has shown up. So it's linked in that sense, but so far that's been it.
Okay.
But,
yeah, I need to play this. I mean, Citizen Sleeper's an incredible game, and I just haven't found time to do this, but.
So there's 2 episodes out so far, is that right? And
yes.
Then how many more's to come?
One more.
Addition? One more. Do we know when it's coming?
I don't think they've said, but I mean they've put these out in there's been maybe a couple of months between them, so I guess early next year. I don't know. So yeah, really enjoying it.
Cool. Did you play Citizen Sleeper, David? You did.
I started it, but to be honest, I wasn't really in the mood for it when I started it. It was one of those. It was I was sort of in between games. I'm not really in the mood to sit and read stuff for ages. So, yeah, I sort of started it and thought, nah. So I haven't got an opinion on it at all. I need to be in the mood for it. I need to be sitting there. I think I need it on the Switch, and I need to be ready to use my Switch for a long period of time to just do a bit of reading. But right now, it just seems like so much on my plate that I want to get to. Vampire, what's it called?
Yeah, Vampire
Survivors.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing a bit of that, but
it's going to be on the list.
Yeah, I've nothing new to say about it, but yeah, that's on console now. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I will be playing that at some point. Ian sent me, I couldn't believe it, a Pandora's box arcade machine cabinet, and we've been smashing that. Oh my god, Harry and I are just completely addicted to Puzzle Bobble. Which is just one of playing that on an arcade stick is just one of my favourite things ever. It really takes me back. And Charlie and I completed a game together for the very first time.
What was it?
We played all the way through Captain America and the Avengers, the arcade side-scrolling beat 'em up. 5 levels.
Is it any good?
Oh, it's terrible, but it's 5 levels. It lasts about 20 minutes, the game, because I mean, if we'd have paid for it, it would have 50p a go or whatever. We would have spent about $7,000 getting to the end. But yeah, no, I mean, So yeah, what I'm saying is that there's so much I'm playing at the moment that going to Citizen Sleeper is not really on the cards yet. But I just know it's going to be one of those games that next year or something, there's going to be a big like sort of period where I've got nothing to play, and I'm like, yeah, I fancy something like that, and I'll sit and blitz through it, like what happened with Disco Elysium, right?
Yeah.
Can't believe like I spent about 60 hours on that just in this period, but there was not much else to play. It was crazy. Kay,
Couple of
We done?
questions.
Let's do it.
Yeah, if you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear-tcgs. MD Krabuffs says, what activity instantly calms you?
Going for a nice
Listening-
walk.
Thanks, Dave. Straight in.
What else is there? That's what they're asking for, right? That was the whole point, right?
Yeah,
Everyone
that
was
is.
saying
Yeah, I can't think of.
Mine was gonna be like listen to loud music and screaming.
James said walking, but I'm assuming that's a typo, James.
No, going for a lovely old walk.
Yeah, having a lovely old walk. That's what we're talking about.
old-
Yeah,
big-
let's
big-
stick with the
lovely
typo.
big walk
Big
on
old
your
massive walk
Big walk on your own late at night.
Yeah.
in front of
Yeah.
some porn.
Ah, that's dirty.
Yoga.
That's not it.
Yoga's good. Like a bit of yoga.
Yeah,
Bit of
I
yogs.
love a bit of downward
Pilates. Have
dog.
I ever told you that?
You got sorry, go on.
I do Pilates. Have I ever told you that?
You haven't.
Oh,
but
nice.
Good on you.
A little bit of
Oh,
circular
core,
breathing.
mate. I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm working on my fucking core.
Nice.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done a bit of that. It's good fun.
I should also
Have
do
you?
that because my core's shit.
Really hard work, Matt.
Yeah, man.
It's
Yeah.
this-
Like, when they teach you about circular breathing and stuff, you're like, "What? I'm just breathing the
yeah,
way
no,
I'm
we're
supposed
not.
to be breathing."
Right, yeah. No,
Good fun.
no, I like the ones where she brings in the spiky balls and you just get to stand on them and it feels amazing. And then she goes, right, okay, now put yourself into a pretzel. And I'm like, well, I can't do that. I'm like, well, you're gonna do that because otherwise there's no point in you being here, mate. Fuck.
Yeah, well, we've got this like card set at home. It's like yoga, or no, I think it's like yoga Lattes. Anyway, something basically he goes with his cards and you're like, okay, today we're gonna do this, and it looks so easy, but turns out it's not so easy when you actually get told to do these moves. But yeah, good fun.
You got your neck massaged recently, right? Because you got problems with your neck, Sean.
Yeah.
Did you have proper ASMR vibes? While
Do
that
you know
was
I
going on?
didn't? I mean, it was great. I enjoyed it, but no, I didn't get any ASMR from it, sadly. And
It's
also,
lymph
and
node checks is the worst.
hasn't
You ever-
cured my migraines either, so never
Ah,
mind.
that doesn't help.
Uh,
The
Just a bit of paper.
bit of paper.
getting your lymph nodes checked at the doctors that instantly makes you go, I'm asleep now. This is
where's
just
your
that-
lymph nodes? Oh,
Well, like,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
right.
when they do that, and then you
They
got them all over the place. There's ones
palpate
there, there's
you.
ones by your penis, there's
Is
all
there?
sorts. But I'm talking about the ones
Oh,
around the
there.
neck.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
News to me.
I might get my lymph nodes checked actually.
Yeah.
Always should.
Matt,
On the shoulder blades.
Palpate them
area.
bad boys.
James, nearer the mic, mate. You're leaning back again.
He's shaking
Don't
his
shake your
fucking
head. Get nearer the
Unbelievable.
mic so we can hear what you're saying. You're
Mate, you
moving
can't hear
further
you shake
away from
your
the
head.
mic there, James.
James, you can move the microphone. If you want to sit
I know, but
back,
then it'll make
bring
a
the
load of noise,
microphone
won't it?
towards you.
Yeah, but it'll make a
God.
load of noise, then he'll complain
Mute
about
it
that.
first,
There's always
James.
something.
Come on, next.
Andy Airfryer says, where does Matt find all these Game Pass deals? He often refers to how no one pays full price. I've been paying full price for a while now, and the best I can see is to save a couple of quid on a 3-month code. Any tips
God.
appreciated?
Okay, the tip, unless something's changed drastically, the tip is you buy as much live as you can get. You can maximum of 3 years you can stack. Make sure your Game
Xbox
Pass...
Live he's talking about. Just
Oh, yeah.
Xbox Live. Yeah.
What did I say?
You said live, but I'm just making
Yeah,
sure
okay,
they
yeah.
know that it's Xbox Live. Yeah.
So yeah, I would one, make sure Game Pass has elapsed. So and no renewal. So you're not a Game Pass subscriber. Buy as much live as you can afford. Maximum you can stack is 3 years. Then what happened is you'll do that. Add it to your account. You'll have 3 years of gold. Then when you sign up for 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate, it will say it's charging for 1 month, which is like $10.99, and then it will convert everything you've got as Xbox Live Gold into Game Pass Ultimate. And so basically, whereas the old deal was load up as much as you want, pay £1, which is your first month. Now the deal is load up as much as you can, pay the first month, which is now $10.99. The whole thing converts. That's
Okay.
basically how I've been doing it.
So there
Right.
you
Cool.
go.
Bit of a tip there. Next.
Gary Dutton says, picture the scene. You're booked in for a checkup at the dentist. The dental assistant leads you to the room before informing you that your old dentist has left and you will now be under the care of the newest dentist to join the practice. Who would you least like to see walk through the door?
Gary
Murray,
Dutton.
Bell, Turners or Farley?
This is easy. I will answer this. Turners. Because
Is
if
it-
I'm sitting in that chair and I also walk through the
So
door,
you're
I'm
fine.
going to be like, what the fuck
What is going on?
is going on here? I mean, anyone but myself.
I'm doing it
Right.
myself. Okay, fine.
So excluding yourselves.
Okay, excluding myself. I would say James Farley because
Thanks.
he won't even put the effort
I was
into
going
the
to say,
fucking
yeah, don't give
pod,
a shit.
let alone something like dentistry. It just
Yeah, he'll be
he'd be
leaning
sitting
back.
leaning back with just his hand in your mouth, just going, "What are you moaning about?"
Yeah, 'cause
just
what
like-
James will
and
do
like-
is he'll go to like give you the anaesthetic and then be like, actually, I want this. I'm gonna.
Yum, yum, yum. And like, Dr.
And he
Farley,
injects it into his neck and then falls into your lap.
like, Dr.
Bullying.
Farley, did you
Bullying.
go to the dentistry conference? No, but I did play Sonic. So yeah, I know the conference was a big thing in the week. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone wanted me to do it, but no, I just wanted to Sonic. Just wanted to turn my brain off, and I went. I'll play Sonic instead.
James, James, what would you pick then? What would your choice be?
What? Who I wouldn't
Least
want to
likely.
come through the door?
Yeah.
Sean.
Oh, why is that?
Wasn't expecting that. Go on.
No real reason. Just thought I'd pick Sean.
I
Okay.
think Sean feels like a safe pair of hands.
Yeah.
He's checked out.
Surely
He's
it's
fucking
me.
checked out.
He's just he's just hoping
Man,
he could say
he's
a name and we'd move
Fully
on.
checked out. Yeah.
Last
Matt?
one. Oh,
Matt?
sorry, go on.
Oh, yeah, say James. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But no, but my top choice would be Sean. Absolutely, safe pair of hands.
Thank you.
That's what I'm thinking.
Last question
feel
comes
pretty
from
good,
Banana Man. He says, do you guys have any games from your childhood that you could never beat but would be tempted to go back to complete now? Mine would be Fiendish Freddy and also Flimbo's Quest on the Commodore 64. Keep up the fantastic show. I don't think I could go back to Fiendish Freddy's Big Top of Fun. It used to give me fucking nightmares.
Yeah, it was horrific. That it was
Limbo.
great.
You know,
It
I
was quite a
sometimes
game.
think about going back to Granny's Garden with a walkthrough because I could get through it if I did
Get to
that.
the end of that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that diving level
Yeah.
in Fiendish Freddy where he turns up on a little thing and then blows it. Why would you do that? It's so mean.
Well, that's his whole thing. He's trying to fucking kill you.
Yeah,
Don't remember
true.
the tightrope
Guy
where he
Spy.
just lobs a fucking disc at you, cuts you in half. Horrible.
Guy Spy for me would be the one.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember Guy Spy? Am I the only one that ever played Guy Spy?
I played
Don't know what
Sly
that is.
Spy. Is that different?
It's different. It's terrible. It's so bad, right? But I thought it looked really good at the time,
Yeah.
and there was this. There's this one level, right? So there's a level where you're on a train station and you've got to hide and shoot the people, and then it's a very similar mechanic where you're on like a ski lift and you've got to hide and shoot the people. Whether then there's a level where you just need to get around a plump lady.
Oh,
That's the level. She's
Cool.
doing that, and you need to get round her to get to the door.
brilliant.
It's a
That's-
shame.
I've just looked it up. I didn't realize the baddie is called Fascist Von Max. Amazing.
Brilliant.
Guy Spy. When did that come out? I remember playing that so much as a kid,
92
and
apparently.
I got past the level with the lady, and then I can't remember after that really.
Tell you
92.
what, that's an episode title. That is.
So I would have been 8. I thought I would have been younger playing that. Wow.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Okay.
You always think like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I must have been an idiot, a stupid child.
I just remember looking at it and going, "This is the best looking game I've ever played." And then, of course, you look at it now and just go, "What the
Right,
fuck?"
so yeah,
Actually,
how
when
old
you
are
look
you-
at it,
how
it
old
still
are you,
looks
Dave?
pretty good.
How old are you? You're 38?
38.
Okay, so in 30 years' time, someone hears this podcast and like, man, they were really talking about God of War, Ragnarok, like it looked good. Now look
Well,
at
no, actually, this David guy's right. It didn't look as good in the first 5 hours. Fair
it.
play.
Yeah,
to
but
him.
Matt had a great TV. So,
I love that whole bit of the show was you bragging about your TV.
Well, I
He's-
finally got use out of it. I think
Yeah, but
it's,
what? I'm happy for you,
Social
man.
clout.
Good.
But
So you should
5
be.
minutes of the show dedicated to how happy you are with your expensive
I'm just saying,
tellies.
other people got the same one. I think it's just a service I'm providing.
I
you know what
doubt they have. Yeah, and if they have got the same one, they've probably seen it. What is that giving to anyone?
Well, a lot of people play God of War. What's the point of talking about it then?
Good point. Good point. Go on. What
That's
was
it,
yours?
mate.
My
That's
answer for
it.
this is I've already
Oh,
done
go
it.
on.
It was Alex Kidd. Alex Kidd.
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
America World.
Yeah,
where
yeah, I remember
struggled
you
for that,
did
but I never finished it. My sister never finished it, but me and James Farley did what me and Rachel, my sister, couldn't. We finished the game, and it was tough, but well worth it, James, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. That was one of
Did
my
it?
favourite streams. It was really good.
Okay. Are we done?
David's not a fan.
I'm not a fan of what? Your stream?
Yeah.
I thought it was great, your stream. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I
Well, you
think
just
you
like
cheated at the end,
uh.
but I think you cheated at the end, but it was still a good stream, wasn't it?
Oh
Stream.
yeah.
Yeah. You didn't know what the answer was at the end of the thing, so you got the chat to tell you what the answer was, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because you had to.
I don't think we were prepared to do it all over again because I hadn't written down the name of some scrolls or whatever it was.
Okay, all right. Let's get to socials, Matt. Go on.
Yes, Thursday, Sean stream.
Question mark. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. Bell's bedtime builds. Let's build some fucking Lego.
Yes,
We're doing it.
back in the building game,
Lovely
boys.
stuff.
Right, that'll be Thursday night, probably 9ish.
Yeah.
That's correct, isn't it? Yeah, and then Friday, James, Inscription, yes or no? Obviously, last week you didn't because you had
yes.
Sonic.
He's got
on
Sonic
the
to play,
brain.
hasn't he?
I mean, yes, as long as those FIFA games haven't come out. Because if those have come out, then I'll be doing them. But
Oh, that'd be
otherwise,
amazing.
it'll be Inscription. But I mean, with the Inscription one, I will be asking a lot of questions as well, almost certainly of the chat. Of
Yeah,
that,
that's fair.
so yeah.
Cool. Well, both of them will be on twitch.tv/TCGSco. Thursday at 9 and Friday at 9. If you miss them live, go to YouTube, search for TCGS, and you'll see VODs of the streams there. But we've got Amazon Prime, and
Just to let you know, I did start a stream series that Matt
that's
doesn't
on
seem to
YouTube.
want to propose, but sadly I can't do it this week because we're recording something on Wednesday night. So
World Cup Wednesdays.
there's no World Cup Wednesdays this week. But shame. I'm sorry,
I put
guys.
the thumbnail as the same as SBAB's celebration with a finger.
we weren't. Unfortunately, we
So if you missed David playing FIFA World Cup last week, then that's on YouTube as well. Go search for it.
It's so bad as well.
Soon.
Sorry, right, go on. You were saying.
And yeah, if you've got Amazon Prime and you've got a Twitch account, connect your accounts, and you have Twitch Prime Gaming, and with that, you get one free sub every month. One will go to our channel, give it to us. We really appreciate it. We absolutely do. The website is tcgs.co for everything else. But I'm going to mention our Discord, right? I'm going to mention it. I can add it at the end. But we've got a Discord full of amazing people discussing stuff all day, every day. There's a link to that on the website if you want to talk to other people from the community. And yeah, so go over to our website and
Dave,
and
come on.
do that.
What? Don't find that funny.
Dude, but you're undermining Matthew.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I think the mention of the Discord is probably a good idea, given that Twitter might just fucking collapse any day now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So come and hang out. It's all right. It's nice.
Yeah, it's great fun.
That is a good point. Actually, we'll take you. We haven't got we haven't got an Elon Musk running it, have we? We have got.
I'm afraid
Ben Syme.
they can't now because they didn't
Sorry.
hear it because you're playing that thing on.
Too busy
talking about it.
being rude. Should we make our own Mastodon server?
Nah.
Fuck it.
We will catch you next week for some more video game chit chat. Thank you so much for living it. Take it easy. And James, you gonna play God of War this week?
I might do.
That's a new.
Goodbye, everyone.
That was a big old lean towards the mic. That was great.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.